Пошли. Все вместе. Какие ваши доказательства?
They want you to comply.
Cancel culture is about canceling.
Кокаином.
Up yours. Woke moralists. Up yours.
This is systematic bullying that's happening.
Woke moralists. Up yours.
And they believe that they
Around and find out.
Up yours. Woke moralists.
They seem animalistic is what I mean.
No, they're worse than animals.
They stop Ann Coulter from doing it.
I will never surrender even a single inch of ground to a pitchfork mob.
You never cave to the mob.
We will never bow to the mob. Ever. No matter what.
Do you see the final expression of cancel culture in terrorist groups like
Up yours.
We'll see who cancels who.
What's up? How's everybody doing?
Hello.
Heidi ho.
Good.
I don't know why I said that.
Welcome everyone to another wonderful episode of Leftist Mafia.
So happy to be here. Hope you're all having a wonderful Thursday. Yeah, episode 62. Coming up on that big milestone.
We're getting close to the
63.
sex number. Yeah.
Oh, we've got to do something. No, never mind.
Yeah, we should do something real special for everyone.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Normal episode.
Episode 420, we can do something special. That's going to take a few years.
That's true.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We could 69 on 420.
Yeah, there you go. It won't be special, though.
Oh man, what a week in politics.
Right.
Did you all see well, I'm sure you've seen it, but I didn't see a lot of people talk about it, but the ruling from Alabama about IVF and the judge's reasoning was like explicitly religious. It's very
I did not see the
dystopian.
reasoning.
Yeah, so I actually have an article if you guys wanted to talk about that, where there's a quote from the judge and his reasoning, and it is it's troubling. So I'm pulling up this article from USA Today really quick. I'll share that. Give me 1 second.
It is bizarre the topics they decide to there's no end to what they want to go after, and just
right.
Like I never would have who cares about this?
This
let
is why
people
everyone's
just
memeing
have
about
children.
life is sacred. Yeah. I saw Tim Pool got really excited about this.
Yeah, it's genuinely so insane. So in his concurring opinion last week, Chief Justice Tom Parker, an elected Republican, invoked a similar reasoning. So he says, in summary, the theologically based view of the sanctity of life adopted by the people of Alabama encompasses the following. 1, God made every person in his image. 2, each person therefore has a value that far exceeds the ability of human beings to calculate. And 3, human life cannot be wrongfully destroyed without incurring the wrath of a holy God who views the destruction of his image as an affront to himself. This is a judge on the Supreme Court, the Chief Justice on the Alabama Supreme Court, using explicitly religious reasoning to make this decision. And it's already having really huge consequences in the state. There's been hospitals that have suspended IVF, and some clinics have shut down. I think 2 now is what we're up to. It is genuinely Orwellian, and this is Christian nationalism in action. I think that this is kind of a microcosm of what they want to bring to the entire country. So I didn't want to start off on like a negative note, but this was I heard about the story, and that in and of itself was shocking. But then when I saw the overtly religious reasoning, that to me was so mind-blowing.
And there's a video of Tommy Tuberville who apparently doesn't understand what this is. He thinks people are going to have more children now. Like that's here. I got a clip here.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have a reaction to the Alabama Supreme Court ruling on the fact that embryos are children?
Yeah, I was all for it. We need to have more kids. We need to have an opportunity to do that. And I thought this was the right thing to do. But
IVF is used to have more children, and right now IVF services are paused at some of the clinics in Alabama. Aren't you concerned that this could impact people who are trying to have kids?
Well, that's for another conversation. People need to have it. We need people
Wanted which I'll Google IVF before I speak.
He's completely unaware. Like, of course he's unaware. I shouldn't say of course, because I often think they do this shit on purpose, right? But he apparently doesn't really understand, unless he's just playing dumb. But he sounds dumb, so I imagine he is.
Yeah, I don't think he's playing it.
No.
To have the opportunity of kids.
What do you say to the women right now in Alabama who no longer have access to IVF, or who will not, as a result of this ruling? What do you say to them?
Well, that's a hard one. It really is. It's really hard. Because, again, you want people to have that opportunity. And that's what I was telling her. We need more kids.
I swear to God, in the middle of this interview, I feel like he just realized, like, oh, IVF. Oh, shit. Oh.
No, I honestly don't think he. I don't think he understands at all. I think he said what he said, and then was thrown off by the first reporter's reaction to what he said. And now he's trying to be extremely vague because he doesn't get it.
He has no idea
to that second reporter, that's why he's like, yeah, I want people to have kids, but I don't know what to say to women who want IVF because I don't know what it is and I don't know what's going on. I mean, that's really what's happening. We're seeing a guy bullshit his way through these two interviews, fake it till you make it, because he's completely confused. He thought he gave the right answer to the first reporter, and then her response completely fucked with him.
No, I'm serious. I think he thought it was birth control, and then afterwards, like, no, this actually helps fertilization. Yeah,
I thought you said IBS, which is irritable bowel syndrome.
That's what I thought too. Okay.
Thank God we finally outlawed irritable bowel syndrome. No more. I won't have to run to the bathroom and take a shit anymore. It's great.
Now women's tummies will be filled with kids instead of poop.
You brought it up, so I have to share this video of Tommy Tuberville.
All right.
I'm gonna mute it just because that's copyrighted, but wait for it.
This. The music would have gone perfectly too.
Yeah.
The drum beat hits right here.
Bad.
It's incredible.
Oh man, yeah, that's what you like to see. That's called the Lord, kind of. I guess karma. The Lord doing karma. I guess those are incompatible.
Well,
but like that's the universe saying "fuck you" to him, basically.
I saw somebody put a video together of him discussing how Biden, like, I guess he tripped in the tarmac or something, and then they followed it up with that clip of him, like, this guy falling down. At least Biden hasn't fallen down the stairs.
I think he did at one point, didn't he? Not as bad
probably.
as that.
He's an old man. He probably has.
Yeah, I mean, they're all...
him and Trump both have... They haven't fallen all the way down the stairs, but they've definitely had their moments.
Right. Trump had the best moment on the steps when he was walking up the steps with the toilet paper on his shoe. That's the most alpha shit I've ever seen. Best moment from a president ever.
That was really
Besides the Dwight D. Eisenhower photograph. Have you all seen this? It's living in my head rent free.
No,
I'll share it with you. Okay, I'll share it with you. I'm not going to say anything because I want your opinions to be completely unadulterated. Lance will know exactly what I'm talking about. But let me just say that this is a safe space. You're allowed to say whatever comes to mind after seeing this. And I won't judge you for it, okay? But let me pull it up. This is a picture of our president, the great.
Just say what comes to mind?
Not my president.
Just say, that's true. That's true.
All right, here we go.
Okay. What do you all think about this?
I've seen this before. Yeah. I think he looks fabulous.
What do you think, Matt?
He looks... He looks. I think David hit the correct word.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
Fancy free?
Maybe with a little bit more oomph in fabulous. Maybe fabulous.
Right. So I saw this.
I'm saving you a seat right here. Is what I was like he's saying.
My thought was like, oh my god, I did not know that Eisenhower was gay. Like this is news.
Once
to
I
me.
saw this photo, I pretty much, yes, I assume the same thing.
Yeah,
I mean, we don't know for sure,
right?
But one photo's all you need. That's all you need to know.
Yeah, I mean, you can never say really, right? Because there are effeminate straight men and masculine gay men, of course. But I mean, goddamn, he's serving cunt right there, is he not? My reaction was he's serving cunt and country
immediately.
Like just slaying. I mean, I don't know if I ever was that fierce in my life. It's like if he's not gay, then I feel inadequate as a gay man.
He's putting the D in Dwight.
This is a politics show.
So that is my new favorite thing from Dwight Eisenhower. My first thing was always his rant and warning about the military-industrial complex. But after seeing that, I'm like, nope. New favorite Eisenhower moment just dropped. That was just incredible.
Favorite president.
Yeah, I've never, I never expected that. But yeah, he was absolutely fierce and slaying. And you go, Queen Eisenhower. So yeah.
I'd Eisen his Hauer.
Someone says the one old guy Mike doesn't want to punch.
I'm losing it.
Well, let's be clear. I wouldn't go that far, but
you wouldn't go that far. You were the guy who explicitly described what you would do to. Well, who was it again? Trump? Was it Trump? You explicitly described?
No. I don't listen. I only talked about the Nazi and wanting someone to punch him.
It was the Canadian Nazi, wasn't it? The one who was
it was the Canadian Nazi.
I thought it was like every elderly person over 90 you wanted to punch. I thought that's what
he said if they were Nazis.
No.
I think you explicitly said if they were Nazis. Yeah.
If they were Nazis, yeah.
You have to show Rebecca the picture that you just showed.
Okay.
Here, let me see.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah, Rebecca. Okay. First
what
thing
comes
that
to your
comes
mind when you see this photo? First word or words, if you'd like.
Yeah.
You can't be homophobic.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a safe space, so nothing you say will be perceived as being homophobic or heterophobic, okay?
Yeah. Yeah, don't be heterophobic.
Okay, let me see.
This is President Dwight D. Eisenhower.
Back in that time.
It was a simpler time.
So, these poses that people might consider,
when men were men.
Yeah, these are like my dad. He's Caribbean and he's like 6'4", and he crosses his legs like this. And that's just the thing. So I can he does it all the time. Now there is
it's not just the legs though. It's like it's everything.
It's a lot. It's a lot of things I can that I won't even talk about. But as for me, I just think it's a picture. It says some things, and we all have different things that we probably can say to it, and that's just
very diplomatic. Oh, that was a good politician's response.
Well put, Rebecca. Well put.
It says some things.
Let me just put this out there. If you want a good laugh, go to that tweet and look at the quote tweets. You'll be there all day. It's very entertaining because people are saying exactly what we're all thinking. But yeah, this had me wondering, like, how many former presidents were gay? I know that one of them was like rumored to be gay, but I mean, statistically, there had to have been at least.
That's not true. Obama is not gay.
Remember,
I did not have sexual relations with that man on Tucker Carlson's show.
I did not have sexual relations with that tweaker.
I said no way. That's not. But yeah, allegedly, whatever. And I don't even.
Let me be clear.
Allegedly. A lie, just a lie. That's all it was.
Yeah.
Someone's claiming we're being homophobic in the chat, which is hilarious to me.
No, it's okay. I gave them all a pass. They can't. Ooh, you're all cleared.
You know,
there's more
Wave
gay
it away.
people on this show than there are
Yeah.
straight.
Yeah. They all have a gay friend,
I think I'm the
okay?
only straight person on this show, right?
Right. Right. If the LGBTQs outnumber the straights, we can say anything we want to, okay? Anything.
It's true.
All right.
Have you seen the lighting behind me?
Exactly.
Y'all could say that. You see, you guys can say that, but we're gonna be a little safe on this end because the next thing you know, they'll say that, you know, like this is.
Oh, Binder's already been canceled like 4 times this stream. Yeah.
So.
Oh, please cancel me. That email will be going out to Joe Rogan's producer the very next day. Okay?
But somebody will twist it. They'll take that clip out of context, and then the whole narrative will be, why did Mike give the straight co-hosts the F slur pass? What are we doing? Like, you know how people are on Twitter.
We should fake cancel Bender just so he can get on Joe Rogan's show.
That's true. That's true.
Bender gets
I was on a show.
Yeah.
Joe, I was on a show called Leftist Mafia. They kicked me out because I was doing comedy. Can't do comedy among leftists.
No,
you know.
they hate you.
Anyway, back to what we're talking about.
Offended.
I think they Bender, you do get canceled like I probably do too. I don't really check. I'm only in my chat. So, and they're liable to get me together in my own chat. And it's not as big as y'all's, but I do be seeing people, they be upset at Bender. They be real mad. It's you, Bender.
To be fair, in the newest episode that David uploaded to YouTube, he was getting pretty harsh criticism for the AI take. I was scrolling through. I was like, "Oh, they are ripping into Bender over that AI take."
What was your take on that? What was your take on that?
Okay, so last week I wanted to bring this up. So David clipped our conversation last week. That we went on air, and it was right after OpenAI dropped clips from like video examples of their new text to video AI platform called Sora. And you guys were wowed by it, and I also said what we saw, some of it was pretty impressive, but I had a very reserved take in terms of AI and the hype behind it and how much it can actually do and what its legitimate capabilities are, and how by playing into this idea that AI is going to take everyone's job, oh, this is it, doomsday scenario, we're actually helping hype these companies who just simply don't have the capabilities at this time, if they ever will even. And by doing that, we basically help the hype cycle behind these companies, which in turn helps them get funding, which in turn makes these people who are going to steal everyone's job, apparently, very rich. And so, I brought this up and I said how, AI is basically not where it is, even though sometimes it does do AI is not where people think it is, where most people think it is, even though sometimes it does land on something that could be impressive. And how, actors and filmmakers, their jobs are safe. They don't have to worry about, AI taking their job because the capabilities from AI is just not there. And people apparently did not like my take. And I have to say, reading through those comments, it was, it's comment after comment.
We're putting people on blast for the first time.
I gotta say,
they're public comments, so I'm not doing anything bad here. But
it's very.
No, look, David was doing the work. Like, let me go ahead and.
I also don't necessarily disagree with them.
Listen, no, but all I'm hearing is that you're saying
we got a 1984 Bender. Come on.
You're saying technology is not where people think it is, and
right. It's just not there, and nor is it anywhere close to where people think it is. I mean,
damn.
The most common. Your career will be safe because AI could never replicate art. Well, I never say AI can never replicate art. I said it can never replicate good art. I mean, listen, a lot of the comments I read, very reminiscent to what people were saying to me.
For technology.
It was very reminiscent to me of what people were saying about crypto in 2021. Gotta buy in. What's your problem with crypto? I heard the same shit, and I was right then. I'll be right now too. The hype cycle around this is being driven by the people who claim to care about the jobs AI is going to take. AI is not crypto. I'm not claiming that. I do think there are use cases for AI, and most of those use cases are, the vast majority, if not every use case, is helping people in certain fields be more productive. But they cannot replicate an entire filmmaker's job, actor's job, a journalist's job. AI writing programs out there, the only jobs they've taken so far are bullshit SEO content mill jobs, where you would just write garbage for SEO purposes to fill up Google and Bing and Yahoo with as much garbage as possible so you rank in the search engines. And the search engines will get privy to the AI behind those too, and then downrank them eventually too. But that is literally all AI has done when it comes to taking jobs from any sort of content creator. I do not know of any sort of jobs that is being taken by people. Are bringing up in David's chat, in David's comments, oh, what about all the tech jobs that were lost? Those tech jobs weren't replaced by AI. Those tech jobs were those people were fired from their tech jobs because these tech companies overhired over the past couple of years, and they fired the people who they who they were redundant, basically. I'm not saying that's cool. They fucked up by hiring those people and giving too many people the necessary jobs because they thought their exponential growth had no peak. They thought it would just keep growing and growing and growing under the, because that was the growth they experienced under the pandemic. But basically, they ended up firing people who they deemed redundant. And what did they do with those funds? They just did stock buybacks and shit. They didn't put it into replacing them with AI or whatever. Like, come on.
And I do think when it comes to stock photos, stock videos, I think that stuff may be replaced though. Like there are people out there who at least part of their income relies on stock images and photography.
Sure, okay, we've seen what AI is doing with that. Like all over social media, these photos that are being created, they can replicate just by asking AI or putting in prompts into AI and easily make photos that people are. It can be misleading, but they're utilizing them to make art and to do all these other different things. And it's helpful to the people who have found that and they're making money off of it. But the people who usually make money off of doing it from scratch and stuff, they're losing their jobs. But let's be clear too. You're talking about because I think people are saying it in a general view too. You're talking about technology, but you're talking about how it applies as content creators, for content creators, and in tech itself.
Right. And anyone who's doing any sort of original work is not going to be replaced. AI cannot do reporting. They could churn out garbage based on data that's already out there by grabbing bits and pieces from whatever it was trained on, which obviously numerous thousands and thousands of articles that are out there, hundreds of thousands, millions of articles out there. But if you're doing original reporting, AI cannot replace you because it cannot do reporting. It cannot create something original based on facts. It can't make phone calls. It can't reach out to contacts. It can't research intricate things like what people are saying or sharing online in forums. It can't put 2 and 2 together and realize that this equals 4 when it comes to reporting. It can't create films in any sort of original capacity. Literally everything AI does is taking stuff that it's been trained on and mashing it together and giving it output based on that. And another thing I saw constantly in David's comments were how David's comments was people saying, AI is only AI is only going to get better and better and better. This is the worst it's ever going to be, which is funny because literally days after they said that, ChatGPT went insane because what happens when there's so much AI garbage out there is that AI language models train on AI, which is basically creates the same effect as like an incestuous relationship producing a child.
And it's actually pretty funny.
And what you get when AI
did you read all those things? It was like blah, 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 like just gibberish.
When AI trains on on AI content, it puts out garbage, trash, bullshit. Not even bad AI content like what's his face from Jack Nicholson from The Shining status. The same thing over and over again, like it's gone insane. That's why AI isn't is only going to get better. It can actually get worse because if there's less original content going out there, there's less things for AI to train on, and then it's going to break and turn out bullshit. And then number 2 is that you need human beings to create original content. It's that simple. AI does not think. The idea that it's not even artificial intelligence. There's no thinking behind it. There's no intelligence there. These AI companies have already pulled the wool over everyone's eye by even calling this AI. These are language models. They're trained on data, just like you would train, any sort of computer programming, any sort of software, any sort of thing that needs to basically just run on automatic and be able to churn out stuff that's redundant. It's not thinking here. There's no brains behind it. There's no human emotions there. It cannot replicate human work. What it could do is it can do basic grunt work. And if your job is just doing that sort of stuff,
it can steal human work, though, which is kind of the big worry, right? It can actually take a lot of copyright material and then replicate it to such a degree that you could utilize that as a background. You can make tile sets for video games. You can do photorealistic stuff that otherwise would cost you a lot of money to license. You can just do in seconds have that get replicated before you, right? So I think the legal definition where someone's going to get sued for, say, using Drake's voice in a song kind of thing, those are going to have to set precedents for people on whether or not you can use AI to just data harvest other people's work and then use it for cheap replacements, right?
Right,
even if it's done by people.
Look what you like. I agree that's one area that AI is, cloning voices and things like that is getting really good at. But even then, look what you just said. The whole basis for it is to clone an original artist. Eventually, AI will churn out all the different ways Drake can say something, and then it'll run out of stuff. It still needs that original source to continue to create new content for it to be able to replicate additional new content. Like, there's going to be a point where, okay, we've heard this AI Drake song how many fucking times when you got 1,000 people creating 1,000 songs each based on the Drake AI clone model voice that's out there. Eventually it will need to train on additional Drake content to be able to churn out additional fake Drake clone voice content.
It sounds like you're doubling down. In other words, David, clip it, chat, get them.
Upload it.
Oh,
yeah.
Absolutely. Not only am I doubling down, I'm saying everyone.
This is how he gets on Joe Rogan.
Everyone in that comment section is wrong as hell and doesn't understand.
Add some anti-vax stuff. Just pepper some anti-vax stuff in there.
I don't think anyone's saying that all jobs are gone forever, but there are certain positions, like I mentioned, like stock photos, stock images, certain stock videos. Those are people's jobs that they can definitely be replaced by current AI models. Just because
it depends. Sure. It depends. It totally depends what you're using it for. Like if someone doesn't care about. If they need some random stock photo to throw as the header for their blog post, then okay, they'll probably grab an AI photo and have no problem with it. But if you need a stock photo for some sort of high glossy print magazine, you're probably not going to use an AI photo because it's going to be very clear that it's an AI photo because once you blow it up and print it out.
They getting crazy with them AI photos. They're starting to look they're getting better every month. Every time I wake up.
They have that AI glow to them. There's that shine that AI photos have that just...
Yeah, but they're getting better. I think over time, though. So now, Matt, I was with you while you were explaining, presenting your case, which is fine, right? Everybody's not going to agree. However, you can't go around saying everybody wrong in David's comments. They not going to agree with you. You ain't going to agree with them. That's why they coming at you. But
there will be.
A lot of the comments weren't even saying oh, all jobs are gone. They're just saying that you were being a little more flippant about it than the reality of
I didn't say no.
Of course,
job
everybody's job is not going to go. Obviously, there's going to be creative jobs available, of course, or people will be.
Well, yeah, I did, and during that conversation, I did say that. Yeah, sure. Maybe CGI artists, special effects artists. Maybe a film won't need as many as them,
which is people's jobs. That's what people were saying.
Literally tens of thousands of jobs. Right
you can't just ignore those people losing their jobs.
But I didn't though. What were they refuting? Because I say that in the actual video itself. I mentioned that.
I think over time, I do believe that AI will start to affect more jobs. But right now we're focusing on content creation and technology and people who are working in tech and how working in technology is taking over their jobs in some way, shape, or form, or even in content creation. It's becoming really easy. A lot of the things that we had to do before AI are not required because of AI. And some people who have credentials are not necessary anymore because they just will use AI in place of those things. But I will say outside of that, I don't know if people are seeing it outside of that where they're like, no, AI are taking people's jobs. I mean, in some places like restaurant business I've seen where they're using like technology that is driven by AI to do certain things. How I've seen car services now not needing like Uber drivers, it's self-driving cars that are not necessarily in main areas, but maybe to go down the street
you
or
guys have
around.
self-driving cars already?
Yeah.
Like
there are Waymo in Francisco cities,
AI,
Oh, we don't.
So those places that people are starting to see where AI is, can come in and take their jobs. How long will these things last? Will they last? Will they stick? I do see over time we are seeing more and more, AI driven things, which is causing businesses not to necessarily need people in their hands or whatever they have. So maybe people were looking at it from that point of view overall, but I'm just trying to, just specify like you were talking about content creation and technology at the time. I think people were seeing it in an overall manner.
Have you all seen the way that people
I
are
also
messing
think the
with those
self-driving car
cars,
things.
though? People are like putting a cone on top of the hood of a self-driving car, and it just is completely incapacitated. Yeah, people. I think I don't know if it was
weekend in San Francisco, someone lit one of those cars on fire.
Yeah.
They torched it. Yeah.
Yeah. I just love how you can destroy a car with a cone.
Modern
put it on there and then
what is going on?
This is additional hype. This is another hype thing though. Like self-driving cars are not there either. They fuck up all the time. There's no way you can have multiple self-driving cars on the road in any sort of way because they'll all get stuck. They'll all and then no one will go anywhere.
Block emergency.
We've already seen this technology fail, and the companies behind it are going to fail too for the most part. I don't think we're in an experimental phase right now, and I don't think these companies are going to make it.
I do like that AI will potentially, even though I am concerned about the job market and the implications there, I do like the idea of lowering the barrier to entry for like people who want to do indie films or music videos.
Right.
Like you can use AI as a tool to do a lot of content creators. Like when I did my little Globe music video of Candace Taylor, I took AI images of angry women pointing to globes. And I put that in there, and I thought it was, it looked like AI. It looked stupid, but it was just a fun thing rather than me, like, I don't know, drawing a picture of it or something like that. So it's a fun tool. So if it's used in harmless ways like that, I think it can be fine. But
well, the Leftist Mafia intro, right? The intro, the Leftist Mafia intro you made, right?
That's true. It's based on.
Oh, you mean doing
deepfake stuff. Well, deepfakes are basically like that's basically what modern real life non-movie theater robots that can think and feel and have human emotion, which does not exist. That's not what real life AI is. Real life AI is what Mike did for the intro to the Leftist Mafia.
Well, Lance
for this show.
Most of them.
Oh, Lance, I'm sorry. Lance.
I used a template
took jobs
for a lot
away.
of it. But I guess I took some jobs. I took jobs away without even knowing it. Yeah,
I will say I've been scrolling through Twitter.
But we wouldn't have
and
hired someone for that because we can't afford to do so. So Lance made this, and what he did was he basically trained. This is what a deepfake is. You basically train the software on thousands of images from videos, like the stills.
Totally did.
And it learns how to, after doing it over and over and over again, not even learns, it takes from the data, because again, learning would say there is an intellect behind it, but there's not. It takes from that data and perfects over time the automation of the swapping of the faces. That's all that is. It's automating something that would have taken, I guess, like a keyframe rotoscoping artist that would have, taken them a long time to do. Lance was able to automate that using deepfake technology.
And
a rotoscoper would have been able to do it even better. But this is Leftist Mafia. We're not looking for perfection.
But there are professionals out there. I was scrolling through Twitter, looking for like clips of whatever, and this came up interestingly. Tyler Perry has halted the $800 million expansion of his studio after seeing OpenAI's text-to-video model Sora. He adds that he just used AI in 2 of his films, and that with Sora, I no longer would have to travel to locations. If I wanted to be in the snow in Colorado, it's text.
Wow.
These are job losses. These are potential jobs.
But are you looking at the quality of the movies? It's crazy.
Well,
because
it's Tyler Perry, so I don't know.
People are David, people are sick. I agree with you because I can go in on that. But love Tyler Perry, what he's done, his accomplishments, all those great things in Atlanta, whatever. But yes, and I was going to get there because if we're looking at the quality of movies, even Tyler Perry's, if he's going to even step into AI world completely for his movies, we're gonna see less and less quality each time. And I think that I feel like when they don't put as much effort, we're starting to see like the backgrounds. I even see
Have you seen music
shadows.
videos? Lots of music videos have AI in them or AI backgrounds and stuff. Like Empire of the Sun's new music video. I was like, why? It looks so gross. It's like all these
more affordable, like you said. They save money.
Tons of money. It's all free.
But at the same time, like quality, right? So we're gonna sacrifice quality in this time. So
I think a lot of them figure it's like these are corporations, right? They're like, do we care about quality? If most people, like we're gonna tell most people don't know. Like I've been seeing like Instagram screenshots of like again, not to disparage my older viewer audience, you're all wonderful people, but like people who are largely, I imagine, I'm guessing, maybe I'm wrong, but like, over 60, 70, who are really impressed. Like, oh, this place looks amazing. And it's like a completely AI generated image of like a hotel room.
Yes.
There's people just like, and to be fair, look, I shouldn't disparage the 60 plus people. I've come across where I'm like, oh, this looks nice. And then, after a few seconds, I can tell it's not real.
Let's talk about it.
But like, but there's stuff that pops up where it's like,
that's just AI food.
This looks beautiful.
AI
oh, wait, this is not legitimate.
It can't be real. Like it can't be real.
Weird.
I've seen photos back in the early Facebook days, and I'm talking about like maybe not early, like the mid, because not the now, but maybe like 10 years ago, we would see they had pages like with geography, like great pictures that were captured by certain photographers, and they'll reference, the photographers and things like that. Now, honey, they just dropping stuff. I keep seeing images and not an ageist, because I have to say that because social media people, y'all get sensitive. I love y'all, mean it, but it does. But
same, I'm not an ageist.
And then Mike was right.
No
one believes that, Mike. No one believes that.
But I'll see older people. My mom, my sweet, beautiful mummy. She'll be sending me stuff on WhatsApp like, girl, did you see this? And I'm like, mama, that's not real. Like, and then I'll click on it and then I'll see through the whole thing. You'll see, and I click on it and it's mostly people of a certain age group. Use your imagination, but I call them older people, older than me. And so they like are in there and they're just like, wow, I can't believe this is happening. Sometimes it causes real bad division. People are like saying these things, but it'll be like, sometimes it's Donald Trump doing something that he hasn't really done. And people are in the comment section like, that's my president. That's this and that and that. Or it could be two artists that are at odds with each other. And they'll be AI will put them together somewhere, and literally it won't be like it's a fake story. I click on it and there's literally a whole article somebody wrote up. It's not even only satire. It's just fully wrong. It's a lie. It's all of that. But they're getting away with these by generating these AI images, and all of these people will click and read it and share it, and it just becomes misinformation all over the internet.
That's the biggest worry, I think, with AI stuff is the misinformation.
Same.
Oh yeah, that's going to be the big thing. Yeah, that's going to be the big problem because the barrier for entry, quality wise, is so low. Like, I mean,
and the incentive to lie is so massive. Like, you make up a bullshit story about some massive event, it's going to get so many clicks, and the incentive is there to make shit up.
People get fooled by PS3 graphics. Did you see? Like, I think it was like right after one of the moments of like Russia invading Ukraine. No. This was actually more recently. This was post October 7th. There was all this footage of Hamas helicopters, and they weren't actually Hamas helicopters. It was all from this PS3 game, but people believed it. Like, enough.
Oh, wasn't it Arma?
Yeah, it was Arma. I was like, the quality of
that's been used several. That game has been used many times to fool people.
I know, but like how?
Yeah.
Oh, that blew my mind. That people were genuinely like, I can't believe this. Wow, we're witnessing history. Like, no, I mean, like PS3 history. Yeah, like it's a game that came out.
To be fair, I think it was the PC version of Arma.
Yeah.
My apologies.
Which is much higher graphical fidelity. Still, if you pay attention, you can tell it's not real. There was a really good video that our Marquez Brownlee put out where he was kind of going through the advancements in AI, and so he'd show you something, and then you had a couple of seconds to see if you could tell if it was AI, and you knew it's AI, but like, what's the inconsistencies here? And for myself, I wasn't quick enough to notice it until he pointed it out. Like, there was a shot of like a Western film, and he was just panning. And then all of a sudden a horse disappeared in the corner. And then a horse, like half of its body was gone. There was one picture or a video of this older woman blowing out her birthday candles. There was lots of candles on the cake.
Oh my God, you remember that one?
I saw
Yeah,
that.
if you look closely, one of the candles has 2 flames, and behind her, there's a bunch of women that are like clapping, and then their hands start like
their hands are all
twisting.
weird.
Because that's how you know it's AI. That's when AI first started. You had to see those images with one missing finger or no nails.
Yeah.
And that's how you were able to differentiate what was AI and what was not. But they are putting out full photos with 5 fingers and all of that. And they're not letting you guys know if this is AI or not. They're just dropping it, and people who are just, not in the know, they're getting like they're getting got. People are like, oh, this is so beautiful. And then older people in the comment section, because people are like, hey, trying to tell them. Younger folks are like, hey, this is AI. Don't be fooled. The older people are like, you can't stand to see an older person just celebrating their birthday. And I'm like, oh no. Oh no. I hate that for us. But,
no.
Speaking of people getting fooled by propaganda, did y'all see Tiffany Haddish?
Oh my God, I was just gonna thank you for getting into that, because we were gonna get into that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Is getting a all expenses paid trip to Israel, apparently. Actually, I can't say whether or not it's all expenses paid. I don't know that, but to find out the truth, apparently that.
Here's the video. It's in the chat. This is from Threads. I dropped it in the chat just now. But
is she a big pro Israel? I don't follow her, so I'm not.
Nobody would have known until
I didn't know.
Video.
I didn't know. Yeah. I'm actually a fan. I really love an animated series that she does the voices of.
But she's been going through a downward spiral. So just what was it? Yesterday, she posted this video of her on a plane where she's sipping a cocktail, which we can see is she's in first class. It could be a mimosa. I don't know. But she's going on a rant about her heading to Israel to go see for herself what's happening, because she can't trust anything. But I'm like, all that's been in the media is babies' bodies and all those, like, how can you not trust your eyes?
Of all times.
But take a listen to what she says.
Billboard baby. Yes, I'm just on the airplane and business class.
Oh my God, the whole thing.
On my way to Israel. I'm sorry, Yamanika. I'm sorry, Yamanika. I'm going without you. I'm sorry. I'm going to go meet my future man out there. I'm out. Going to the Holy Land. I suggest you all do it. Why go? Why not go?
Touché.
Is it a live video she's on?
Yeah, she was on. She was in a 13-minute live.
Watch the whole thing. There's no way to pause this. What is
Champagne,
this,
give me gas.
Well, she goes into hold on. I don't know how long this video.
You can't pause these videos. What the hell?
That's crazy.
There's a bar
click on it. Doesn't pause.
You can,
click on it.
Bar, but...
see if you can scroll over.
Just click on the. We should click on the.
Have some fun, it's gonna be great. Then I'm gonna.
There's other things in that cup.
I'm gonna go see
she did before this. She had to. There's some other.
I'm gonna go see for myself. Is like said throughout the whole thing, but it's like
she says in the video basically like, y'all, I need to go see for my eyes what's going on out there. I can't trust what y'all posting or those type of things. And she goes in, she says like, you guys, y'all can't tell me what to do. I'm gonna go over there and see what y'all been saying. I can't trust that. I need to go and basically see with my eyes. And I'm like, first of all, you're treating this like a whole vacation to go check out genocide and
well, she won't see that. She'll just see the good. Yeah,
Mhm,
yeah.
'cause
She'll go
she's
to
going
Tel
to the good side.
Aviv.
Tel
She'll go
Aviv,
on
yeah.
the beach. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
But
She's not going to see
she's
the
saying that
difference.
she's gonna go see what's happening there. She needs to go.
Mhm.
She's politicizing it herself. And if you're going to Tel Aviv, you're going. And then Israel, I think posted on their page on Twitter, like, please do come and let us host a bar mitzvah for you, like a party or something like that. And they reposted her 13-minute live. And then I think TMZ just spoke with her today earlier, and she responded. I think she's on the phone with them. And she said that, you know, she was in tears and saying, you know, she needed to go see herself. I didn't listen. I didn't want to be bothered with it. But it sounds like basically she was a bit remorseful for how people took what she said. And I don't want to, you know, add.
But it's war zone tourism, right? By definition.
This is what they do.
Tourism. Like,
yeah.
Bobby Lee, another comedian, has discussed like he regrets going because he was forced to promote the country. From I think this is a few years ago he talked about this.
Israeli government is flying out like celebrities for free out there to do a tour for free, and it's on the house. They fly you first class, the whole thing. And I go, it's free? And they go, yeah, it's not free. Because when you land there, they go, you have to every day tweet positive things about Israel.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I just felt so uneasy about it. I don't know much about it. I just know that they're in conflict. But I did what they said. It was just basically, you know, Palestinians, Israel's a beautiful country.
Yeah, that's probably true. That's true.
It is true, but then it's like I had to tag the government in it or whatever.
Oh, that's crazy. The Israeli government?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. That's weird as shit.
Yeah, and it was just like every day it was just nonstop.
You were cucking for the Israeli government.
Yeah, but I wish I hadn't gone really.
That's sad. I don't like that. And if that's what Tiffany Haddish decided to do, and like I said in a post that I made, I don't care if it's Black History Month. I don't care if it's tomorrow, like the next month, the month before that. She's not above us literally, I wouldn't say attacking her, but having this conversation. And she's not above reproach about this whole thing. Understanding what's happening there is you saying that you need to see with your eyes. I feel like that is so insensitive to what we've been seeing for like for the last couple months, like what we've been seeing online. What are you talking about? Like this thing is you clearly are you're taking this. The whole video setup was crazy. You're in business class. There are people in Palestine who are dying. Genocide is happening right now. And you're telling it you're in business class and you're about to take a flight to Israel and you're going to Tel Aviv, but you need to go see what's happening with your eyes over there. Because I'm sure in her life, people are like, well, don't you know what's happening across the way? Don't you know what's happening in Palestine? Don't you know what's happening to the people of Gaza? Are you not seeing that? And you're going over there. So she was just like saying, I need to go see with my eyes and this and that. And she started to talk about where she's has heritage from in Eritrea, I believe that's how you pronounce it. And she, an African country. And she was saying like, trying to make it better. Like, I have a bank account over there. I got, I go over there and I try to pour into like, no, ma'am, we're talking about, girl, you're right now, you brought this up and you're being so insensitive and you're being disrespectful. And it's not a good look, but you are partnering with Israel and they reposted you. Clearly they've done something to pay. This is an all expense paid trip and this and that and that. Some people were saying, and again, I did not watch her response video to this, so I can't speak to that right now. I just didn't feel like watching it at the time. But people are saying that she's going there to do a comedy show or something like that. But I'm not sure how true that is. Either way,
even that's deeply problematic.
Yeah.
By
Yeah.
itself.
I mean, and in general, when I saw this, other people were pointing to something else. Apparently, she's accused of grooming as well.
Yeah, y'all didn't hear about this story? This was another cancellation that happened earlier last year.
This one's way worse on Ari Spears, though. Like, if you didn't know about this, Ari Spears basically made a comedy sketch. It's kind of like similar to what you could put on James Franco. Like, you're getting people to do really fucked up stuff as actors, even if it's for a sketch. It's really fucked up, and in this case, it involves kids. And then he wanted for this, like, quote unquote pedophile sketch, he wanted Tiffany Haddish to like be a part of it, but she didn't like like conceive of it, she's also condemned it. And I think the original people who said that, like who brought charges against her not charges, but a civil case, dropped it because they said that like it wasn't her idea. She was just like, it's more like, I think Gary Spears was fucking disgusting. That was what he thought would be funny. And
he tried to keep on making it funny, and nobody can't F with me. That was his response. Tiffany's was more like, I didn't know, I didn't like that kind of thing. And then and in that one, I was even like, okay, like I don't think that this was malicious. Like she understood what was happening at the time. Like I don't think that was that full context, even though it's terrible. I just think there have been so many things that have been happening, and Tiffany has just been going on a downward spiral. I think this in itself is super dangerous, what she's supporting. And again, I don't care. It's Black History Month. I love Black women and I love Black men, but I don't care if you guys are on the wrong side of something. Like I said, you are not above reproach. Like I'm gonna come for you, and I'm not gonna be like attacking her, but it's simply put, like, come on, like that's not it. You're in business class. You're literally like on vacation. Like we know you're rich, and what's happening across the way is people are dying, and you are the one that brought that up, where what you see in the media and I know like online, are you not seeing there are photos and videos that we don't even want to see, but this is clear as day as to what is happening. While a lot of those people are being muted, they can't even share their story. They're utilizing social media to share their stories because media itself, like mainstream media, there is not going to do so. It's not going to paint the true picture. So it ain't like Tiffany Haddish hasn't seen it. It just sounds like she was paid to go do whatever she needs to go do over there, and make Israel, add to people making Israel look like it's just the best country in the world right now.
Yeah, I mean, they are struggling to, hold up this facade that they're a compassionate democracy that's respecting international law. So since they're failing when it comes to public opinion, they're trying to latch on to any celebrity who can help rehabilitate their image. And Tiffany Haddish decided to be a useful idiot for them. And maybe right now it's not really, she'll see a little bit of pressure, but I think that like years down the line, when people stop pretending that this isn't a genocide, she'll realize, oh, I helped do a little bit of sanitation of that. Maybe I feel a little bit guilty. I mean, who knows though, because people are complicated. They compartmentalize and never look at the shitty things they did.
She may feel guilty though.
It feels like she really was antagonistic with the way that she went about this, right? Like if you're like, oh, I'm just genuinely curious. I wanted to see, I just wanted to go to Israel. I'm sorry. I don't know about what's going on.
Google, you don't like.
But she's drinking a whole mimosa.
It seems, it's an endorsement by definition. If you're like, I'm in business class, I'm having an awesome time, great.
You just can't cry ignorance here. It's like you don't give a shit about the genocide.
Yep, and that's where I think it became very problematic. Like we don't do that. You know what your people have gone through, your heritage, and yourself as a Black person in America. You can't look at this and be like, I'm gonna go try to see what's going on. And no, girl, like no. And that's and then she goes, and then she'll go on a live and be like, people don't know I'm living my real life. None of this bothers me. But yet, again, with that video on TMZ, because they spoke with her over the phone, and I think they got some footage of her walking while they were asking her questions as well. And it seems like she said, she regrets probably how she said it. But when I feel like watching it, because again, I don't feel like it getting on my nerves. So, but whoever else, I don't care who you are. If y'all stand there sticking right beside genocide, I don't want anything to do with you. I just don't. I just can't. I can't.
I have a feeling she's gonna. I mean, I'm glad to hear that she feels remorseful. I don't know if that's because she's just like, okay, I can't take the heat. But like one thing that I've noticed is with these celebrities, they end up doubling down once they take a little bit of backlash. Michael Rappaport, Noah Schnapp, the Stranger Things kid, the other Stranger Things actor, the guy who looks like a creep. I don't remember his name, but like they end up backing themselves into a corner. And they refuse to get out. They just start tripling down and they deteriorate into fucking crazy psychopaths. It's like that, like the Israel version of what transphobes do. Like that guy, Graham Linham or something in the UK, like how he lost everything and blamed trans people because he started being transphobic. Like you start to kind of like spiral, as you said, Rebecca. Yeah, it's yeah, any celebrity who's doing apologia for genocide, fuck them. That should lead to a cancellation. That should lead to accountability. But it won't. Like, if she were to say that the genocide is bad, that would lead to actual like repercussions for her career. But because she's on the side of the oppressor, and because, you know, conventional wisdom says that's okay, that's where the Overton window is, she'll probably be just fine. Like, she'll have some people on social media attack her, but for the most part, like right now, it doesn't matter if you're pro genocide, unfortunately. But maybe one day it will. Hopefully, it will.
Well, we'll see. I'll probably on Saturday I'll go in more into detail on her response and things like that. But it just I ain't messing with her. Her cancellation has happened a couple of times for comments that she's made, for a lot of different things. Her being drunk and driving. I feel like she's going down a downward spiral. Hopefully she gets help. I think that there's something going on there, honestly. And hopefully she gets help. But I hope that her service is taken away, just like mine was this morning when I couldn't use my phone when AT&T had me down to the ground. Were you guys able to use your services at all?
No, I didn't have trouble, but AT&T was down today. Yes.
Yeah, David and Lance, I ain't talking to y'all because I don't know if it affected over there in Canada, but it was.
Wow.
Was your phone down this morning? I was on SOS for hours.
I have Verizon, so I wasn't affected.
I think some
as far as I know.
Verizon, I don't see. It always be me. I told y'all. My sister, who's on the same service as me, was just like, "Girl, ain't nothing wrong with my phone." Like,
really,
and that's how I work. And internet and phones were down. I wasn't able to communicate or do anything until like maybe 3 p.m. That's when everything got back up. But I was on SOS. I think over 500,000 people were affected by this.
Wow.
So, you know, I know a lot of people are using that as an excuse to get back into the bed and be like, you know what? Quiet time for me. Like, I don't have to deal with anything. But then a lot of people who make money, you know, content creation, those things, they were losing $1 or $2 from this. And that's how I work is, you know, I have to have internet. I have to be able to use my phone. And I couldn't at the time. I just thought, oh man, like what's going on? And then I thought about like an apocalypse. I went down a crazy rabbit hole. I'm like, is everybody okay?
Oh
no. Did Jesus come? Is there apocalypse? Is that movie that we were talking about? That
I was going to bring that up.
Yeah.
That movie was on your mind.
Yes, I started getting crazy. But then I connected to my partner's Wi-Fi, and then I was able to see that it wasn't only me. And then you go to Twitter, right? I don't use Twitter that much, but then I went to Twitter, and all I had to do was type in AT&T, and I saw that it wasn't just me. So
that's good.
Yeah.
Not
Binder could probably explain this more. There was a lot of stuff down today, though, right? Like, wasn't like a ton of major companies, like tech and otherwise.
It seems like the most of it was based on AT&T being down. Then people trying to Verizon and T-Mobile users trying to call AT&T users and not being able to get through, so thinking there was something wrong with their service. And then AT&T users, like I saw a lot of complaints about Spotify being down, but I didn't see anything about Spotify being down. But it would make sense that if your AT&T phone, if your wireless carrier is AT&T and you're trying to use Spotify on your phone like most people do, and you can't connect, you're going to assume something's wrong with Spotify and not AT&T. So that seems to be, most of it seems to be based on the fact that AT&T was down. Yes.
Yeah. I was like, I paid my bill. I know I did. Did I pay it? You get crazy. And now I'm like, now I got to call them and have a conversation and be like, for all of what happened to me, I was stressed. I was traumatizing. I need $50 off my next bill. Something gotta happen. Okay. Something has to happen. That's relying on technology, relying on, that's how I work, right? And all of that was down. I couldn't do a thing.
I just saw this pop in my feed, and I'm curious if this is going to be the Trump VP ticket here. This is a very interesting situation where
no, I don't think so.
He decided to bring Tim Scott on for I guess this looks like a town hall.
If I'm being honest,
it better not. He ain't doing it. Trump will.
He looks very happy to be there.
Well, that would be a huge get for Tim Scott, but I don't think Trump would do that.
No way.
I felt bad for Tim Scott watching this town hall because Trump was basically humiliating him. Like he said, yeah, him right there in the audience, Tim Scott, you know, he was a better campaigner for me than he was for himself. Like he didn't say it exactly like that. I'm paraphrasing it, but like you could see Tim Scott's face and he looked like he was just dead inside. Like, oh my God, I'm doing this for power. But like, I mean, this is what he wanted to do. You know, power is more important than your own dignity. It was very, very humiliating. Like I felt really secondhand embarrassment for Tim Scott because it's like, man, you really have, like, if you want power in this country, like you've got to degrade yourself, and people are willing to degrade themselves. It's so embarrassing.
He's a black man on that side. We saw how those debates went. Every time that man spoke, they were like, yeah, okay. He had 2 seconds to speak. They didn't care about what he had to say. He's been humiliated through this whole thing. I would want him to exit left, right? I want him to exit stage left immediately, because if he's going to be sitting by Trump through this whole thing, it's really going to be more embarrassing for him. I'm like, sir, where's your dignity? Where's your integrity? Like, I know at the end of the day, you want to walk near this man. What is he doing for your people, your cousins and them? What is he doing for you? Historically, nothing. This is not benefiting you. You look crazy. He's making you weaker and weaker each time. Like, it's really sad. They do not respect Tim Scott. They just don't. They don't respect him. We've seen it. They've even, like, any questions that they ask him have something to do with him being African American. And when he wants to answer it, they don't even give him an opportunity to really flesh out something to give. They just don't want to hear anything. So him sitting next to Donald Trump and allowing Donald Trump to belittle him is not.
That was literally why he was brought here to again talk about how great Trump was for African Americans. Like that's his whole job. Like,
look at him.
It's embarrassing.
Y'all didn't see the sneaker thing with Trump's sneaker?
Oh my God.
And he said
$800 sneakers.
And Fox, thank you for having that up. Definitely play that. I mean, let the people hear this.
I don't know if you all saw this. This was mind-blowing to me. Watch what this doofus says.
Yeah. Even the sneaker thing. I was on social media last night. Very interesting as you see black support eroding from Joe Biden. This is connecting with Black America because they love sneakers. They're into sneakers. They love this is a big deal, certainly in the inner city.
Oh my God.
So when you have Trump roll out his sneaker line, they're like, wait a minute, this is cool. He's reaching them on a level that defies and is
this
above
guy knows
politics.
cool, let me tell you.
That haircut is crazy.
Trump understands
this guy.
One thing this guy
Question
fucking
for you on
tells
that
me.
point, though. Will the people that are excited about the sneakers and excited about Donald Trump, will that translate into them going out and voting for Donald Trump?
Well, anybody willing to put $400 down for a pair of sneakers? Yeah, I think that's commitment and love.
It's
hope something.
You're right.
Oh my
it's something.
God.
It's affection.
Yeah.
Even the sneaker thing. I was on
It's
social media
affection
last
and
night.
love. Is that how
very
they
interesting? As
is
you
that
see,
how the white
blacks-
right? That's how they see us. Like, we really gonna be we attach ourselves to black owned sneakers. Like, and I can't say black owned because the people that own those sneakers, but black folks, black athletes, we'll go get them sneakers for sure. It's not the best thing, but our community is gonna support like some Jordan, some LeBrons, like those things, right? And the inexpensive brands or anything that Kanye makes, like that's what we'll go buy, even though they're owned and distributed by others. But that's what we'll go buy if there's a black name attached to it. Most of all, Donald Trump's name being attached to them ugly ass sneakers. Are you serious? And you think that's going to get us to vote for them ugly ass sneakers? Like, no way. And they're calling it the golden ticket.
Alex Cole, who tweeted out that video, he's like, this is what they think of us. Like, it's so insulting that you think you could get black people to vote for you because of fucking sneakers. I mean, this is the if this is the outreach that they have, like, I don't know what to say. It's humiliating. But I mean, that Fox person is very, very convinced that Trump has it on lock now. He's gonna get all black people to vote for him because, oh look, they have the similarities. They like sneakers. It's so insane.
I'm embarrassed about that. First of
Our
all,
guest is here. Our guest is here.
Remember? Oh, okay.
Our guest is here.
Oh yeah, let's bring in our guest.
Bring me in, God damn it!
Hello.
Hi,
Francesca.
You sneakerheads. You sneakerheads.
Yeah, what do you think of the Trump sneakers? Buy or no buy?
Oof.
Such
I feel like if there was like a little bit of a heel, like a little lift, right? Which honestly there should be. It's Trump. He already wears man heels. I might fuck with. I don't wear anything with the American flag if I can help it, unless it says like made in America, which these definitely are not. No, it's super insulting, but I was listening, like, to Rebecca's point, like, which like also the cologne, like like he is kind of trying to be like a rapper, like a pop star. Like that's the angle. It's like
according to
has their
Axios,
cologne.
that is the way you do it. Here, this is
Axios, yes.
Old
Please
men
tell
lace
us.
up. Here we go. Biden, Trump try to keep up with Gen Z and millennials.
Oh God, I can't.
Every
Not old men
election
lace up.
cycle, there are articles like this. We're like, look at what these presidential candidates are doing. Oh, they're talking to the celebrities and they're
Pokemon go to
Hillary
the
with
polls.
her hot sauce in her bag.
Oh, and the hot sauce. I forgot about the hot sauce.
Ooh,
Yeah.
please don't remind me.
I love it also, like,
No, you don't. That would kill
he joined
you. One
TikTok.
talk would kill her.
They're
Biden
both
joined
so-
TikTok recently.
They're
Yeah.
both so old, like nobody their age still uses laces. Like the idea of lacing up.
No.
They all wear like those Velcro ass, arthritic, like the SAS brand shoes. You know those? Like
100%.
I have like my stepdad and my dad. Like I have a lot of 80 octogenarians in my life. I don't know if your parents are as old as that, but like I very much see them in, well, definitely Biden.
And we see his sneakers. Y'all see him when he's tripping up over himself, those things. Like, we see what kind of sneakers it is. They got a little cushion at the bottom, those kind of things. I don't know what kind of shoes Donald Trump wears, but I haven't seen him in like
They both got to have a pair of New Balance. I mean,
yes, yes. You know they have the dad shoes, right? But I'm not even seeing Trump wearing those ugly ass sneakers. That I'm not seeing it. And then so we definitely ain't putting them on our feet. Those are so ugly. And the gold, the American flag, Black people are not even really rocking that anymore. They don't want anything to do with the American flag.
Right.
So that's not, and the fact that they said that will win the Black vote, that will get Black voters to vote. They think so small of us. Like that's no.
It's basically like, here's a shiny object for the Black people to like, that's effectively what they're saying.
It's disrespectful.
Yeah.
And like, give us some health care. Go into our communities.
Right?
Let's see what we can do. Like, this is what I think will cause votes to come in. Not a damn shoe the money that you spent on, creating that shoe, not even in America, like you said, Frank, like it's not, a made in America type shoe. The things that were created to make the shoe, we know that's out of the country type stuff, but y'all want to stamp America on it. Like the money that was utilized to do that could have been pouring back into the community, something like that. But here we are with an ugly ass sneaker.
The scary doll from Madame Tussauds Wax Museum told us that it's cool and that Black people will find it's cool. So I don't see what the problem is here. Like,
he does
Remember
look
when Joe
like
Biden-
Stephen Miller Wax Museum, like, or someone drawing Stephen Miller from memory.
That's
That's good.
Oh
a little
my
too much
God.
hair. A little too much hair.
Yeah.
Well, again, I don't know if you could call it that, but it
was something.
I'm curious.
It's colored in.
Assuming that the Republican Party at one point in time, maybe 100, 200 years into the future, they start to embrace gay people, what will the outreach look like there? I mean, there's going to be some fucked up shit that they say.
I can't wait for Joe Biden.
You're a part of.
I can't wait for Joe Biden. I can't wait for Joe Biden and Donald Trump to show up at the first debate, both with a fade.
You ain't Black.
Don't piss me off. We already know what Kelsey did with that, and white folks.
It's not the fade, it's the
That's
Kelsey.
right. That's right. But I feel like, Mike, to your point, there is something interesting about that because there's been a backtracking around the acceptance of gay Republicans that we've seen only maybe during Trump's administration, but actually no, specifically when he lost, which is wild, right? In the beginning, it was like you had all these like little like Twinkie MAGA superstars who, like Milo Yiannopoulos and other dudes with glasses whose names I don't care to remember. And they've been forgotten or, like legitimately taken down because they're like, yeah, I have sex with kids. But,
That was
like,
Milo. He got
that was
canceled.
Milo.
Canceled by the right.
Canceled by their own.
Ali Alexander, too, was ousted for something similar,
gay?
I think.
Yeah, he's bisexual, I think, but
Okay.
yeah, he was acting. Well, he was accused of being a predator and actually trying to have sex and DM like younger men. So there's that as well.
And Milo is ex-gay now,
There's not,
apparently.
like,
So
Oh yes, Milo's straight
right.
now. That's right.
Yeah.
Straights, he's one of yours. You gotta worry about.
yeah.
But do you know what I'm saying? Like that was an interesting moment, right? Where it was like, no,
Trump had the flag.
Yeah, you can be a fascist.
I remember that.
And then that kind of like was like, no, we've experimented with that. Let's put that back in the bag. And like log cabin Republicans have been, whatever. I think in Texas targeted, like they couldn't have their
Trump
table
could barely
and
remember
whatnot.
the letters, though. That was kind of funny when he's like L P G.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know about that, but yeah, there is here's the other thing about those kinds of like the fact that I didn't know that about Ali Alexander, like that should be, if the shoe were on the other foot, the right would be covering that all the time. Like if different prominent like members of the squad or people from the DNC or people from like DCCC, any consultant groups were found out to be like systemically child predators, they would go insane. Meanwhile, they've got them in CPAC. Ronna McDaniels worked with that one kid who like traded, or like had child porn. Trump, I have like a horrible list in my head, but like that guy Nader that Trump worked with, who was actually arrested and sentenced for child porn, like the list goes on and on and on. But we're just supposed to, it's like it's too lowbrow for mainstream news to cover. And so it kind of doesn't really get covered. Just like, but
there's
just
accounts on
there's so
Twitter
much
that
with
are
Trump,
dedicated
so
to
so
that.
much gets lost.
Yeah.
Well, and they have like Republicans have so much leeway to where if they say something fucked up that gets mainstream media coverage, it's got to be really fucked up. Like this week, and this is still mind-boggling to me. So Andy Ogles, he was being confronted about an activist over Gaza, and he straight up just said, "Kill them all." I don't think a single mainstream news outlet covered this. It was so wild to see. And then he put out this statement afterwards saying, no, I said kill them all, kill Hamas. But the conversation was not about Hamas. The woman who was questioning him said, I've seen kids die. I've seen images of little girls having their legs shredded. And then he said, oh, just kill them all. How about that? It's time that they pay the piper. He did not say anything about Hamas. So like he literally just went full Hitler. And the mainstream media, like Washington Post, New York Times, there's like, what are you going to do? Zero coverage.
Who was this again?
Andy Ogles. He is the representative in Tennessee's 5th congressional district.
Oh,
He's
yeah. Meanwhile,
very
if you're
flashy.
an anonymous college student saying from the river to the sea,
or watermelon sticker,
you will be
Yeah.
doxxed. And
Yeah.
and many
Mhm.
think pieces written up about you in this movement that's
Oh,
gone
yeah.
too far.
Mhm.
Anonymous random kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Here's a video.
I've seen the footage of
You've seen footage of
shredded children's bodies, and that's my taxpayer dollars.
I-
I'm going to
you know what?
going to bomb those kids.
So I think we should kill them all, if that makes you feel better. Everybody, yes.
Ooh, I would have slapped the shit out
That
of
is
him.
crazy. And even if he was being whatever, I don't care. Like, this is what I'm saying. These people are insensitive and they don't give a damn. And just because somebody's coming up to you and checking you and that's the response, no, okay, yeah, let's let that go viral. Let's let people know how you really feel. My camera. Let's
Yeah,
let people
and-
know how you really feel. Y'all go ahead.
And the longer clip gets so much worse because if you like right where we stopped it, you could make the case if you really wanted to be charitable. He was very clearly being facetious, but he goes on to explain, no, it's time that they pay the piper. Like he really meant it. He said
Right.
Hamas has been bombing Israel for 20 years. This is what, like, he was being unironically genocidal. So yeah, like things like that can be said. And it's just, I mean, none of us are surprised by it, but like the threshold
Who
for
was
what
who was the
gets picked
Democratic
up is-
politician who recently did that, Mike? Like someone amongst the Democrats just said, like, if Canada let's not kid ourselves. If
Kathy
Canada
Hochul.
Kathy, yes, thank you, and made that
My
statement. where it's like,
governor.
we would wipe Canada off the map or something like that. I was like,
oh,
whoa.
right, okay.
What? Yeah, I
Like
was
yeah,
that's
like
really
you
aggressive.
would kill innocent civilians in Canada if
Yeah.
like it doesn't like I don't know how she could say that.
But I
and
kept
thinking
on trying
she's
to
like
make-
making a good point. Like
yeah.
Also, I kept
No.
on trying to make this. I mean, soft Zionists, liberal Zionists will get really upset. They get prickly when you compare Israel Palestine to literally anything. But we know better than that. But the analogy is, well, they voted for Hamas. We keep on hearing that. Well, what if we were to like target counties that voted for Donald Trump and just killed everyone in that county? Or let's say Trump actually does become a fascist. Let's say he has a militant wing that is armed, that, whatever. Like imagine that. Would it be right in retribution to murder every single person in the districts that voted for him? No, of course not. No one would say that. But they're paying the price for supposedly who they voted in. I mean, leaving aside like the origins of Hamas and everything like that, but it's just like, that shouldn't be lost on anyone that this is collective punishment. But Kathy effing Hochul, man, fucking Democrat. I mean, I'm so, after this week with Nancy Pelosi.
Oh my God, that was the worst I've ever seen.
I can't anymore.
It's because they don't have a good defense for any of this. Like the funny thing is, like, they're against any sort of historic, like you mentioned, Francesca, they're against any sort of historical comparisons. But when they go to that drawing board, they need to create a fictional scenario of Canada attacking Buffalo, New York, because there is nothing that they can come up with that would defend this. Like, you are on the wrong side of history, because you can't look back in history and compare your side to any historical event that would be comparative to, like, you being the good guys.
Yeah. And if you criticize them, then apparently you're MAGA. That's what John Fetterman said today. I have the video if you all want to watch it.
He's still on it. Oh my God.
Oh, he's not stopping. He's still very much cheerleading.
He brought this
for
message
genocide.
to the best place to hear it. Morning Joe.
Right.
Oh Lord. Of course they had him on.
Yeah.
Finally, he's getting some coverage.
Yeah, I have it ready. Give me 1 sec.
And the president is going to win here in Pennsylvania. And I've always believed that whoever wins Pennsylvania is going to be the next president as well, too. And this is going to be, it's going to be difficult. And we all have to lean in on that. And we also have to start having, all kinds of Democrats criticizing the president, too, publicly. I don't understand why. I don't know what's in it for you to do that, whether you're just
doing a primary
in the news or anything like that. But if you're not willing to just support the president now and say these kinds of things, you might as well just get your MAGA hat, because you now are helping Trump at this.
Unbelievable.
He's still going?
It's great because, like, what's the Democratic Party's argument against, like, the hardcore Trump base? They're in a cult, right? They're in a cult. They can't criticize, their sun god emperor or whatever. But here you have John Fetterman on TV going, if you criticize Joe Biden, you might as well just go get your MAGA hat. I mean, that's, of course, not cult-like behavior. We can't criticize Joe Biden, apparently.
Yep.
Yeah, if you
did
say
to Jon Stewart, like, come on.
Right. If you say that it's bad
anymore.
No, absolutely no criticism is acceptable. Even if you say, hey, Biden doing the Remain in Mexico policy is literally a Trump era policy, apparently you're MAGA now. Don't go MAGA. No, that's MAGA. Like, it's just, it's such culty behavior. And I hate that. So there is articles about Jon Stewart both siding the situation, which he did not do. And then Mary Trump hit back after he responded. And it's just like, girl, you're grifting. Stop. We have to be able to criticize the president, especially if he's aiding and abetting a genocide. If you can't criticize that, then if he's too weak to where any amount of criticism is going to sink his chances, I'm sorry, he shouldn't have ran then.
It's also worth noting, those people are the most, like, when it comes to actually getting people out to vote, people like Jon Stewart are going to be the ones that have the power to be able to do something like that, because they're actually trustworthy, because they're willing to recognize the faults of Joe Biden. If you are simply blind and repeating Democratic talking points, who are you convincing? Like, the people that you want, if you actually want to encourage people out to vote, then the people criticizing Biden are the ones doing the best. In Michigan, for example, they're trying to, or they're Tlaib and Andy Levin, former representative, are both putting forward the initiative to vote
uncommitted.
Uncommitted in the primary, and they're doing it because they are trying to warn the administration. They're trying to warn the Biden campaign that you are not going to win the election if you continue down the same strategy by supporting everything Israel is doing. They are doing it to the benefit of Joe Biden. The people like Fetterman, who are just blindly, praising him and not willing to recognize any of the flaws, they're not helping at all. Like the ones that are actually helping Biden's campaign or trying to help him are the ones that are putting forward these kind of campaigns.
If you're terrified of Orange Man Bad coming to power, Donald Trump's going to be a fascist, maybe you should be mad at Joe Biden right now, who is supporting a far-right regime. You know, like he's the one who you should be directing your anger. He's the one who you should be mad. You know, everyone's like, oh, but what about the undecided voters? I tell you, I'm really mad about them. It's like, yeah, okay, let them decide, but let the president stop supporting this, because that's what's really fucking with everybody.
We should be able to hold the president accountable for this. I know people are like, oh, you know, if we're gonna, I get it. And that's why I said, I understand why people are where they are when it comes to trying to figure out who to vote for, but understanding like our sitting president right now is supporting genocide. We gotta be able to call a thing. And while I like that they, you know, are pushing to vote uncommitted for now so that they can hold the president accountable. I don't care if we rocking with the same team. You're not gonna be rocking with me on the wrong side of things. We're gonna have to talk about this. You know, we need to know what leadership looks like, because this ain't leadership. Like, this is not. So I think we should be able to be holding them accountable.
And that's what Stuart's point was, which was if this is the most important election of our lives, if democracy is at stake, then the person going up against Trump is deserving of more, not less scrutiny.
Exactly.
And we need, and you're absolutely right. It definitely is a point, because Stuart at the end of the day will basically make, you'll watch, he'll make a very labored case, but a hold your nose, and this is a general, and use like fight with your vote, you know, choose your adversary. Well, I think he will do that if Biden remains the nominee, because later in the week, Ezra Klein and Nate Silver both like basically Stuart ran cover for them, and they were like, I think Biden should drop out. Like both of them said that. And yet they're not being accused of like both siding anything. No, they're fucking, you know, like beloved pundits of the centrist Democratic class.
You've lost Nate Silver. Something.
Yeah.
Seriously. Come on, Democrats.
Truly.
That's incredible.
Smell the paint, please. That's
Truly.
not
And David Axelrod and everybody. So I'm
Yeah.
actually really holding my breath for this year. I think it's going to be wild. Like, I think the only thing that gives me pause is I do think August is a long time away. The convention is a long time away for Democrats. But I feel like a lot's going to change. Like, I truly, I'm not like, and I do think, I was talking to Dave Weigel on my show, The Bitchwation Room. Everyone, hope you're subscribed at Franny Fio. And he was saying, like, Biden didn't give a shit about the protests, doesn't really give a shit about the internal, you know, dissent. But the one way to get to him, it seems, is with something like this Listen to Michigan uncommitted vote. And that would, because if you look at percentages and they can come away from the primary and say, you know, whatever X percentage voted uncommitted, that could be that decisive factor between winning and losing. And that they chose Michigan specifically because they wanted a Midwest state early in the primary campaign. And it just so happens to be the state with like a concentration of Arab American and Muslim voters. And so they fucked themselves. And again, the people of Palestine. But so we will see. Like, I am very curious, and people are making phone calls tonight. Like, people are really out there getting people to, you know, write in uncommitted. But if it's the only thing that gets to this Zionist, because he's a Zionist, yeah, I mean, we'll see.
Yeah, the one thing that gives me hope is to see so many people not taking the shit. Like, I mean, to the extent that we have power to actually hold them accountable, it's minimal, right? But to see like Hillary Clinton heckled everywhere she goes, to see Biden at every fundraiser he goes to be met with hundreds, if not thousands, of ceasefire protesters, that has given me a lot of
Even
hope.
Bernie
too, and he, you know what? Yeah. He deserves it. There was an interview this week that he
so
did
much.
where 3 times he had the opportunity to call this what it is. It's a genocide. It's a genocide, and he wouldn't do it. He wouldn't say anything about sanctions. He said he's really uneasy about that. And then when it was posited to him, well, you know, what about South African sanctions? You know, he just shit the bed because he knows.
What did he say? What did he say?
I don't know.
Because I watched everything until that, because that's a great follow-up. That's the follow-up.
Ash was asking about the BDS movement and talking about its efficacy, and he was acknowledging.
We can actually pull it up. I could try to find it. It was
pull it up. He basically, in so many words, acknowledges that what was done in South Africa actually had purpose and is just, you know, and doesn't clue in that she's directly comparing the two situations, pretty much.
I see. He doesn't get it. He doesn't.
I'm pretty sure he gets it. I think he's just choosing his words extremely carefully, right? Like every single time he was asked, would you call this or characterize this or agree with like the preliminary ruling of the ICJ in this case? What do you think about this in terms of, saying there's a plausible case for genocide? He was just like, well, we could argue semantics, but what I do want to say is that the United States should not be sending $14 billion of military aid to Israel.
Yeah.
I just like went down that path, and it was like that 3 times in a row. But
look, if he can rein in the aid, I think that's good. But I just want to Bernie's been, he's been getting on my last nerve because of this. First of all, I worked at AJ Plus of Al Jazeera Media. I have a good co-worker friend, Dina Takruri, who's done amazing work. She's Palestinian. She asked him when he was running in 2016. Yeah. No, yeah. She was asked him about BDS that long ago. And I felt uncomfortable because at the time, first of all, I've always been for BDS, all that. But at the time I was like, man, he's running for president. Let's ask him a different question. Like, and imagine not changing your stance between 2016 and 2024, given the rightward turn in Israel, given everything that's obviously happened in the genocide now. It's entrenched in him. And the other, and I don't know if you guys picked up on this, but when he said, what does that mean? Kept on saying it. What does that mean? What does genocide mean? What does that mean? You know what he said that about also was reparations. He's always been uncommitted on reparations. Always asked, what does that mean when you say reparations? Right? So, and it kind of gives me pause, and I'm thinking back and I'm like, I just don't think he's actually committed. He's not committed to the idea of reparations, of like real racial economic equity, of our own truth and reconciliation committee. He clearly doesn't understand the facets of structural racism, in my opinion. And he clearly doesn't understand the Palestinian struggle and liberation. And he cannot characterize Israel-Palestine for what it is. Because he's gummed up. He calls everything the class war, doesn't say class war, but he's so clear on everything else. What does that mean? Suddenly he gets into semantics. I think it's revealing.
Why do you think that is? Like, obviously, it's just we have no idea why he has that mental block, but he is so typically on point.
Does he identify? How does he identify too? Like, I've been Bernie, right? How does he identify?
Like politically?
No, because there's people who are, I've seen a lot of people who just say, because I have a Jewish background or whatever the case may be, I'm going to side with
He's
this.
Jewish, but I mean,
I zip my mouth about that, or I'm not gonna, I'll ride the line about that. So I'm just asking for, as far as it comes to the genocide, right? But we loved Bernie at some point in time, still love him, mean it. But again, nobody is above getting checked. Like nobody's above getting questioned. I don't care. And it's been years and your stance still haven't changed and those kind of things. It's okay for us to, again, call a thing a thing. We're not just going to keep writing him and throwing Bernie's name out there and talking about what he's done. He's done amazing things. He's pushed for amazing things. But in these right now, properly, respectively, we can still call a thing and say he's not doing what he should do in this case.
Yeah, and I think he does identify, obviously, as Jewish American. I think his family were Holocaust survivors. I think in part, it absolutely has made him who he is. He spent some time in a kibbutz when he was younger, but also so did Noam Chomsky. You know what I'm saying? And so it seems like Bernie has been. It's like a little bit like rubber hits the road. In practice, he was has been one of the only few outspoken senators on reining in U.S. aid to Israel, talking about the occupation. I don't think he's squeamish. I don't think he's squeamish about the word occupation. But when it's like, oh, rubber hits the road, there's a massive massacre here. It's awful. A lot of Israeli casualties, different from every other war between Gaza and Israel, right? Where there are only a couple Israeli casualties, whose names no one fucking remembers, of course. But now all of a sudden that, we're getting into over 1,000. Now suddenly it's on. And of course, the rest is whatever it is. So it is, again, and with all the liberals that we're seeing who are progressive until Palestine, it's like, okay, you say all the thing. What happens when shit plays out, when you really are tested on whether you stand in solidarity with occupied people, right? Or you really believe in racial justice? Well, then do you believe in reparations? Do you really? Oh no, that's too far. Or do you believe in defunding the police? Or do you believe in reining in the police? Oh no, but not on my block. Like, you know what I'm saying? We're finding these lines with everybody.
Yeah. Sorry, my computer completely crashed. I do have the clip ready if you want to watch
bummer.
it though. Yeah, I had to restart, but let me bring that in. So this is the first clip. There are two. I don't know which one this is. I think this is her trying to ask him about genocide, but this is his response on how many times it takes to give his non-answer.
In your view, is what Israel is doing in Gaza a genocide?
In my view, it is absolutely disgraceful, horrible, and I'm doing, as a United States Senator, everything I can to end it. And where I'm sitting is, and I don't know how many people know this, every year the United States provides about $3.5 billion in military aid to Israel. On top of that, there is a bill. I was supposed to be here earlier. Couldn't come because a bill came up for not just all for Israel, $95 billion, including $14 billion for Israel. And I have led the opposition to that. I do not want to see the United States complicit in what Netanyahu and his right-wing lunatic friends are doing right now to the Palestinian people. So my job right now is to support what the United Nations is trying to do, have a humanitarian ceasefire, see if we can get the humanitarian aid immediately in there, and work out, as complex and difficult as it is, some type of long-term solution to what's going on there.
But do you buy the South African case at the International Court of Justice that what Israel is doing in Gaza constitutes genocide or genocidal acts?
I think, look, we can argue about definitions. It is horrible. Right
Really
now,
frustrating to watch.
29,000 people have been killed, and some 70,000 have been injured. Some 65% of the housing units have been destroyed or damaged. And I am worried right now, and I almost wonder why I'm in the UK and not back in the US dealing with this stuff, is that we have hundreds of thousands of children are facing starvation. That's what I have to work on right now.
But if one agrees that it is a genocide, it means that other states have a legal right and duty to prevent genocide.
The international community gets mobilized.
We can talk about that.
So
what does that mean?
Stop fucking river to the seeing this bitch,
what
you know?
I'm
Like,
trying to do is what I think is probably maybe, and I can do it because I'm a senator. You can't. Right now, maybe, if we tell Mr. Netanyahu that he's not getting a check for $10 billion more to continue his aggressive action, he and his right-wing friends may decide it is not a good idea to continue to do that. So that's where I am coming from.
In addition to stopping the billions of dollars in military aid that Israel gets from the United States every year, would you back calls for a cultural, sporting, and economic boycott of Israel?
I am nervous about economic boycotts of any country.
It's just so frustrating.
But right now, what
I get queasy.
people want to do, they can do what they want to do.
question.
They're boycotting
now,
themselves,
my
man. Their
job
economy's fucking
as the
suffering.
United States Senator, and I'm kind of leading that effort in the Senate,
No big deal.
is to tell Netanyahu that he is not going to get any more U.S. aid.
Did you feel nervous about the boycott movement against apartheid South Africa? Was that a concern you had at the time?
He's good. What I thought that as an apartheid state at that point, it was important to put pressure. But people can do as they want. And
There you go.
That's all.
Do you think that it's right that British citizens and American citizens can go and fight in the IDF when, as you say, there are such profound humanitarian concerns in Gaza?
Well, I think if British and American people want to do that, I suppose they have the right to do it. It's not something that I really
No, they don't.
Do you think they should have the right?
Look, I think what the Israeli government doing now is horrible. And I'm not quite sure why people would want to be, part of that.
He hasn't spent enough time in the West Bank. Like, I mean, I think that's also really clear. But I just want to say, I don't, when I criticize Bernie, like, Bernie's an ally in this. He's not a leader. I think it's important. He's not a leader, but he's an ally. Rashida Tlaib, leader. Those who've called for, correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe chat knows. I don't know.
He hasn't called for ceasefire yet.
He hasn't called for ceasefire. Yeah.
Right.
No. He's in an interview saying that I don't know how you could have a ceasefire with an enemy like Hamas. And you're
which
like,
is
oh,
no
wow,
different. It's no fucking different than the Netanyahu line. That is the Netanyahu line. It's the centrist Democratic line too. That's fine. Again, he is an ally in reining in some of the money. Cool. But he's not sadly super important. Super important.
Yeah, I think that Kyle put this really best in his video about this is showing like the limits to the institutional progressive position to where you can go far, but you can't go all the way. Like you can acknowledge certain elements, but you can't say the word it's frustrating because he knows that he's being intellectually dishonest. When he describes the way that Israel is systematically exterminating the Palestinian people, he knows that is a genocide, but he can't say it for some reason, political reasons. I don't know. Again, as you know, Francesca said, yes, ally, reining in the funding. I think that's important, but it is so frustrating because we know he knows better, but he's not saying it. So it just kind of feels like there's this level of disingenuity that makes his legacy feel tarnished, right? I mean, he's still fighting more than other senators, but I mean, fuck. Can we not do a little bit more?
He's saying he's uncomfortable with an economic boycott of Israel while also saying he wants to cut off U.S. funding of Israel. How does that make any sense whatsoever? I mean, come on, man.
I think what I'm hearing a lot is it's just a lot of disappointment because Bernie is like everybody loves him. You know, we've been all rooting for him for years, wanted him to be president, all kinds of things, all the things, right? So seeing him sit in this interview and speak in circles and almost just like not want to say the wrong thing, but still present himself as okay. But I don't like, we can say that what's happening is horrible, but to really sit here and say it's a genocide, I don't know if I want to get to that point or cross that line or, you know, tickle that a little bit. But it is horrible what's happening. The amount of people that's dying, it's crazy. But to say, and you know, the interviewer made a good job by her questions were clear and to the point. And he still was like, well, I just, that's what we were hearing. I think it's just more of a disappointment. Bernie is an ally in this, but we should just leave him in the ally chair, right? And focus on the fact that he's not a leader and really just push and continue to push the people who are leading and wanting this to end and to call it a genocide and holding the president accountable and anybody else. It just sucks because, you know, seeing Bernie just sit here and not be able to be straightforward and call a thing, it sucks. It's a disappointment, but we can call it a disappointment and walk away from it. We can't do nothing about that disappointment over there. He's still an ally, but he's, like you said, Francesca, he's not a leader. And that's an important point. So,
I would love to know. He kept saying what Israel's doing over there is so horrible. Well, what's so horrible about it? Explain to me what's so horrible about it. I mean, you're saying you don't want this economic boycott or cultural boycott. You won't call it genocide. You think there shouldn't be a ceasefire because Israel has a right to defend itself against Hamas, which again, their version of that is to literally do what you're seeing now. So what is so horrible about it? Tell me what's so horrible about it. Explain what's so horrible about it. Explain what the differences between what's going on in Gaza right now and what happens in the West Bank. And what's so horrible about it? And if there's any comparison to, you know, we were bringing up apartheid in South Africa, you could say that's horrible too, right? But you'd also have no problem calling it apartheid because the reason it's horrible is because it was apartheid. So explain to me what's horrible about what's going on in Gaza right now. Use words to explain what makes it so horrible.
I mean, I think the other thing that's important to note is how there truly isn't a moneyed, organized, Palestinian lobby in Congress, and there hasn't been for a long time. That happens when, you know, you're just trying to stay alive and survive, and Palestinians, the diaspora, are trying to do, and they've, you know, U.S. campaign is a great one. Obviously, other organizations, Adallah, Justice, like there's a bunch of groups, but there was some, maybe people remember, there was some Republican Congress guy who's like, look, I've been here 2 years. I've been visited by like 5 different Israeli like whatever speakers or lobbyists who are telling me what it's like in Israel and invite me to go, and they're offering to put me up in 5-star hotels or whatnot. And he was like very naively like, I've just never been visited by a Palestinian. And I think that's I don't put that on Palestinians, but I put that on us as a movement. I put that on how do we institutionalize Palestinian liberation as part of like a lobby going forward, part of a bloc going forward. And I think when it comes to BDS, is something a lot of people do not understand. So Bernie doesn't have the talking points to be for it. He doesn't know that it isn't about like, you know, cutting off medicine. They would never do to Israel what Israel does to Gaza. You know, like that it's not accessible for folks. And no, there aren't tours of the West Bank that are being like all paid expenses. You know, hey, it's 5-star hotels in under siege, wherever the fuck, right? And like, and there's also an element of this, which is, do they want to go? Do they even want to see? I've never been to the West Bank because I know if I fucking go there, I don't know if I'll ever be able to it will forever change me, but I'm afraid because I'm afraid because I know like I will have to like lay down everything and just fucking fight for this forever. So I think there's that element too. But you know what I'm saying in terms of like Israel lobby? I mean, they're probably running pre-roll ads on this fucking video going, are you learning about what from the river to the sea means? That cartoon.
And did you all?
And there's no real way to properly fight that because there's never going to be enough money that like there's never going to be the kind of money that the Israeli lobby has to argue their side for Palestinians. So it's always going to be an uphill battle, and that's why the images coming out, the stories coming out, that is the public sentiment that is we see is changing in polling. Like that has to be the driving factor.
Yeah,
in addition to like various strategies going on with like what Tlaib is doing. But yeah, it's numbers, it's polling that's really the only thing that we can rely on right now because there's never going to be enough money to properly combat the other side.
And the media right now, we can only rely on what we're seeing with people utilizing social media, giving us a real view of what's going on over there. Because if we would have relied on mainstream media, we will see. It's almost like somebody said in the comment section. It's almost like even watching Bernie, Tiffany Haddish behind, had nobody. That whole thing.
Oh my god!
Like
you guys watch that?
Yeah, we just
you just that segment. That's something we were doing right before you came on.
It's a mess, but that's what we're seeing. Like people are saying, we're not seeing it. We can't really say anything towards it, but it's almost like there is like a political leash on them, and Israel is, on the other end of it. And I don't like to see that. We're even seeing people, on the left, or people who identify as Democrat or whatever, they can't remember when this all was first happening. A lot of people were super duper quiet. Why is that? What's the issue? What's your tie? Why can't you really say, a ceasefire? Why y'all got to add humanitarian pause? What is this all about?
Isn't that the most brilliant form of fuckery, PR fuckery that we've seen in our lifetimes? The fact that the word ceasefire has been so politicized, supposedly by Hamas lovers, that they had to say humanitarian pause. Talk about the movement winning right there.
And why are we saying pause? First of all, what's happening there? Why would we just pause it? Cease, stop, be done with it. Why would we use the word pause? And that makes it humanitarian just to give them 4 hours to run to a different shelter, which they don't know is safe or not. That's what you're telling me?
Yeah, to bring them crumbs, by the way, which the Israeli army is shooting. They're shooting at the food. Is the food Hamas? When I saw that the other day, I was like, this is a population being starved and you're shooting the food. Well, I mean, what else do you say at that point? You're literally shooting the food.
It's interesting. It makes me feel, because again, I've done a lot of movement work. I was, very active against the Iraq War, and that sort of politicized me around Palestine when I was 18. And then from then on, sort of looking at politicians and being in a lot of political spaces was always kind of like an inside joke to be like, where do you stand? The 2-state or the 1-state solution? And what's your, and it was just so to be like, oh, great. Well, our group about, our Students Against Sweatshop, group splintered because we couldn't agree on Israel-Palestine. It was sort of always like the heel. Not always, but you know what I'm saying? Seen as a unnecessary litmus test in otherwise unrelated political spaces. Now I might disagree. And now I actually think that, especially for our elected officials, especially for fucking senators. Look, those motherfuckers are like gum in your hair. They are not going to leave, right? Like Fetterman, like once they get in, they're in. Look at Sinema. The litmus test should be around Israel-Palestine. Why? Because it has actually made our country far less safe. It has been the reason that we continue to go into the Middle East, that militant Islamic groups want to harm the United States, is because of our policy around Israel, whether we like to admit that or not. They're a massive liability. We don't want any more foreign wars. And so what are you going to do about it? Every road goes through this issue. What do you do about it? I think it truly should be a litmus test. And I'm glad people haven't let someone like Katie Porter off. Remember when Katie Porter was she with Isaac Herzog like last year, 2 years ago, before all this? People were like, what the fuck? And it's like, good. Yes. Katie Porter, brilliant on other issues, not on this one. And I think she's feeling it now.
Good. Yeah. Yeah.
She need a way of showing it, or with like rice or bread or something like that. You know, those examples where it's like she's got the props. We need props. We need to explain it to them.
Exactly.
Yes.
More whiteboard.
The way that she explained her support for Israel was such a Katie Porter way to do it, because she was there with other Democrats, and Netanyahu was like, how many of you know that we have LGBTQ members of the Likud party? And she's like, I was the only one that raised my hand. I'm like, I knew because I read up on it. And I'm just like, oh my God, Katie, you just ruined the whiteboard. Everything you did, I'm erasing it. Like, no more goodwill.
No more whiteboard.
Yeah, we're taking away the whiteboard. Like, you lost all those privileges. But like, I think that the one thing that makes me so hopeful is that, and it's like, I don't want to say hopeful because like, it's a bad thing that's happening. But like, what I mean is, there's no propaganda that you can filter through the youth, because they're not getting their news from traditional media. So they're getting firsthand accounts from Gaza. And there's something so radicalizing about that. And I wanted to point to this. So this is an article that came out from The Intercept. It's a huge investigative report about the bias of the New York Times and the Washington Post when it comes to Israel-Palestine. And it is astonishing. It is very, very long.
I'm so glad they did this. Oh, Adam Johnson. That's great.
Exact same problem in Canada, by the way, with our media. The exact same problem. CTV, CBC, the exact same biases.
Right. Everything down to like the words that they use. Like they were very, very
I love
scrupulous in their coverage here. And yeah, basically the conclusion here is they are not humanizing Palestinians in the same way that they're humanizing Israelis. And that is evident in every single article. Basically they looked at like over 1,000 different articles. So, but yeah, that stuff, like, I think that this helps to explain why so many older liberals are very much okay with the status quo, because they grew up on nightly news, mainstream media. So they just got what was presented to them. Younger generations are seeing the TikToks from Palestinians, and that is so much different than getting it filtered through, that corporate lens. So that does give me hope. I hate that like it takes mass death and suffering on an unfathomable scale, right? But it is nice to see young people not fall for the bullshit, because we have access to better sources and whatnot. The one thing that is really worrying about all of this, and why I agree with Francesca that this should be a litmus test, is I was listening to this interview with Emma Vigeland. She interviewed a doctor. He's Canadian and Palestinian, and he was in Gaza. Excellent interview. It's like 40 minutes.
Yeah,
it
really
brought me to tears, brought Emma to tears. Really powerful stuff. But like he said, listen, if we don't stop this is setting such a horrible precedent. It says we don't care about international law. Any country can do what they want to do. I mean, we heard for months the United States government say we've got to stop, Putin, because if any country can just take a country, if Russia could just take over Ukraine, then China's going to want to take over Taiwan. And then we have Israel just completely disregarding international law, completely ignoring international norms, lying, planting evidence. So like, if we allow this to happen and politicians aren't held accountable for this, like, this is the new norm that we have to look forward to. Politicians can think that they could do anything, because if supporting a genocide doesn't lead to them facing any accountability or repercussions, then of course they're going to think that they're untouchable, and they do think they're untouchable. That's why Andy Ogle said, kill them all, because he doesn't think there's going to be even backlash. Nobody's going to bat an eye. Yeah. That's how much we've dehumanized Palestinians. But I think that slowly but surely we're seeing a paradigm shift, and there's still a long ways to go. But we are finally, I think, on the correct trajectory. The problem is that how many people have to die before we reach the correct position? That's what's so frustrating, It
is frustrating. I think what we're seeing too is the presentation of power. We are seeing people who, from the beginning, like we talked about how people weren't saying anything. They were being questioned about it. They had to use other words. We just saw a video of Bernie doing the same. We're seeing celebrities all of a sudden taking pictures with a lot of Israel professionals or Israeli professionals or however, people who have ties to Israel in some way, shape, or form. A lot of people changing their social media from saying, I stand with Palestine to removing those posts, whatever, for whatever reason. But a lot of people are so scared because of the power that comes out of Israel. And so they control how the media is going to talk about them. They control, for some reason, there is a political control over people who are said to be on our team, who can't even call a thing a thing, who are Democrats. They can't say nothing. They're being silent on it, and they're okay. And just the few, and I can't say just the few, but the Democrats who are saying things, they're on microphones, they're out there, and we don't see much of what they're doing, and they're out there doing the work. They're out there on their social media every day talking about ways to help the people of Gaza, ways to support or what, and sharing different things. But what we're seeing is there's less of that being shown. And I don't know how. Well, it's power. It's power. You get online, you would think that the people of Israel are suffering way more, and it's okay to say, yes, the people died at the concert. But all those people who are dying, that genocide that's happening over there in Palestine nobody should be dying as a result of that. Let's figure out another way, because what's happening there is not okay. But for some reason, people that we think should be talking and being okay, and how they say standing on business about it on our side, they aren't. They are very afraid.
We're going to see what happens, because I think that Cori Bush is going to be the real test, right? She is somebody who put her neck on the line. She was one of the first to stand there with Rashida Tlaib and call for a ceasefire. And now currently, if you look at her primary opponent, who won't say if he's funded by AIPAC, he went on a trip to Israel funded by them a couple of years ago, but he won't say. But he's very well funded. And now there was a poll that came out. He was 22 points ahead of her in a Democratic Party primary. So I say it's the test, because if Cori Bush loses this primary, I think all other Democrats who were maybe inching towards being more bold, they're gonna cower in fear.
I mean, that's what I just keep on, like, I know people feel powerless, and I know there's a lot of places to donate. I would just encourage folks to donate to the squad members that have called for a ceasefire. They got $100 million plus from AIPAC, plus who knows how much other money going up against their races. They're facing a lot of shit right now, and they're a little bit quieter because of it lately. I have to go pretty soon, but I did just want to say that I think that media narrative is the second biggest story of this genocide. I truly think, maybe the third, maybe you got the genocide, South Africa crushing it, and then the media stuff. The divide between young people and older folks on what they are seeing, how they are seeing it, who is filtering it for them or not, is so stark. And like, it's so funny because the mainstream news loves doing media analysis stories. That's like their fucking thing. They love to be like, over on TikTok, this thing's really big. Or like, like
it's so true.
They fucking love it. They love how like,
how do you do, fellow grammars?
Yes. How do millennials' brains work? Well, this might explain it. And they love to problematize how like young people's brains are all rotted and fucked or whatever. Not on this. No one's talking about it except for The Intercept, clearly now, right? No one's actually saying, yo, you guys not covering this from a human angle, not even showing some of the carnage. New York Times does occasionally. It's actually fucking you for generations.
Yes.
This is fundamentally changing the media landscape. Look, we can trace back the mistrust in mainstream news to the Iraq War. Why? Right. Because the Iraq War, for a lot of us who came up during that, it was wall to wall, arm in arm, fucking, news anchor with general, just there, a scrum of you will not question this war. And so a lot of us, including now people who are probably MAGA, were like subconsciously, fuck the mainstream news. That's where it all came from. I mean, to say like, so again, like the ramifications of this, the psychic break is huge.
Yeah.
That's why you gotta watch the Situation Room to get your news.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Francesca, tell us about your channel and where we can find you.
Hell yeah. I try to bring comedians, progressive comics. Some of them have revealed themselves as Zionist. But
like
not
mid interview?
Yeah, like by the way,
Oh.
no. No, like former friends. That'd be very funny.
Okay.
That would be very fun. I had Ben Glebe on. If I had him, I wouldn't. But anyway, that dude's so lost.
Yeah, he is.
But yeah, I try to have comedians and then experts and activists and all y'all good people on. Lance is going to be on in a couple weeks, or no, next week, Tuesday. Super excited. Moji, God, what's Moji's last name? She works at Abortion AF, so she can talk about the embryos and all the fucking draconian stuff that's going on the reproductive rights front. So tune in. Tuesdays and Fridays, 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern. Thank you guys for having me. I'm sorry I'm late.
Thank you for coming.
No, thank you for coming.
Yeah, everyone go subscribe right now.
Yay, at Franny Fio. Okay. Peace.
Bye.
Take care.
I love her. She's so good. I love her.
She's awesome.
Yeah,
That was fun. Yeah.
Her husband's amazing too. Super funny. Go follow.
Yeah, he's
Matt.
hilarious. Yeah.
Oh wait, who is her husband?
Matt Lead.
That's her husband? How did I not know
right?
that?
I know. Power couple and a half. Like when I was like, wait, what?
I was so I'm like fans of both of them separately.
I know.
had no
In their own way too, for completely different reasons. I had no idea.
Oh
And I
my
was like,
God.
yes, that blew my mind. So
Wow,
happy about
that's
that.
crazy.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah,
her.
know.
She's hilarious. She gets to the point. She doesn't play. I love her history about how she got into politics and things like that, but she's beyond that. So I love to, hear about her growth and things. And she's a mom now too. So it's all the
Awesome.
things. So I like her. Yeah, definitely go follow her.
Well,
we at the end of the
He
show.
was on Good
10:30.
Mythical Morning. He also was a comedian. Sorry.
Oh, you said her husband was also a comedian.
Yeah, he's got a really good podcast called Bad Hasbara Pod that's out right now. He's one of the people who works on Good Mythical Morning, like one of the biggest shows on YouTube, essentially.
I didn't know
he's
that.
also sorry. Oh yeah, he's all over the place, and he's also like on her show sometimes, and has hilarious TikToks. I highly recommend following him on TikTok.
His
They're really funny.
his response to Henry Kissinger dying made me laugh out loud. He's like, he had their baby there. He's like, "Hey, honey, guess what?" And he's like, "Henry Kissinger's fucking dead." And just like singing it. It was so fucking funny. God.
Well, 10:30.
Yeah, it's time.
Super
It's
chat.
time.
Time.
Rebecca works tomorrow, and David's tired and sick.
And
so-
sick,
go.
yeah.
You already know something. Yeah,
And
you
Michael
said the
wants to
kids.
play
I got the
Supermarket
daycare
Simulator.
sickness again.
This daycare
Whoa.
sickness.
Supermarket Simulator.
Game of the Year 2024.
Supermarket Simulator?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I've heard of this.
It's so
I have not
stupid.
seen what it
It's
looks
so
like.
It's a game?
It's a game, and
Do you
you just
shop?
you own your store. You put everything out, and then people, they'll come and
Come in
buy
and
stuff.
shop?
You can expand. You ring them up.
That's
It
hilarious.
was honestly giving me a little bit of PTSD because when
Yeah,
there
like-
was a line building up, I'm like, oh god, this is like I'm getting flashbacks. But then
Yeah,
I was
it's like,
able to
why
grow
would
and
you wanna
hire
do that?
somebody.
Are you not able? Do you guys not grocery shop? Do you guys not go with the the older people in the
He
morning?
runs his, he runs his own grocery
morning, bro?
store. He runs his own grocery store in this game. That's
I am a business owner.
He wants to be the
he's
boss.
a business owner.
I'm a petite bourgeoisie. Yeah, yeah.
Look at it.
Alrighty, super chats.
Yep.
Yeah,
David, we leaving. We out of here.
I know. We're.
I'll let
I
you
am-
do your
Go ahead and get to your super chat.
I'm holding back my.
I'm gonna
throat
run to the
here.
bathroom really quick before I.
All right, 2222, Smokey Rose, my good sister, which 22 is my angel number. But did y'all see that AI image where the guy's tie turns into the seatbelt and then his finger gets stuck in the coffee cup lid and then the car gets worse the longer you look? No, I haven't seen it, and I don't think I want to. Those little AI images get crazy.
It sounds a
That's
little.
the future, man. They're gonna take our jobs. It's gonna.
Smokey Rose,
Hey, let's not get back into that.
Matt, don't start again, okay?
Oh, maybe
Rose
I
again.
gotta say some of those responses, man. It's like, oh.
It's YouTube
That
comments.
was
What do you
weeks
expect?
ago. Don't bring
You-
it
no, I
back.
know, I'm joking.
You should go in and reply to
Push it
each
out.
one.
I should.
But Smokey Rose doubled up 4444. My concern about AI is that we've already been kind of learning not to trust everything on the internet. Can we live with existing in a world where you couldn't even trust the news or books? Like, I don't trust nothing. Again, 22, she just be giving all her money.
Yeah,
Someone called
Jesus.
someone called her the Black Amy Schumer, and I think she's talking about Tiffany Haddish. She said, I laughed, but seriously, this reminds me of poverty porn content on TikTok, but worse because she ain't even going to Gaza. It's like asking Musk what it's like to be poor.
Did you see Amy Schumer complain, saying that like the reason trolls are mad and people are mad at her is because she's not like considered thin enough, and that's the reason they're mad? And I was like,
Girl,
that's
nothing for the body.
Is she still
what?
Is she
Yeah,
still
what?
defending herself? I feel
Yeah,
like I haven't
I'll
heard much
pull
from
it
her
up,
in a while.
Because they literally they went in on her when she made those comments originally, and
That's why
now
I'm surprised she's still talking. Like, that's
she has to
insane.
come back and say this because she got a little fat. She got a little fat on the skin. It's a problem. Nobody said that. See, now you're coming up with things for us. See, she's gonna try to use an issue. See, I don't like that.
Okay,
I don't like
according
that.
to page 6, Amy Schumer thinks internet trolls and people are mad that she's, quote, not prettier or thinner. Yeah.
What?
I was like, this
Why
has
would we
nothing
be
to
mad
do
at
with that.
what?
Supporting genocide makes you ugly. It's period. That's it. That's all.
Yeah, that's why she's ugly, because she supports
That's it.
genocide. Exactly.
So anywho, Jay Cass, first Dennis Rodman goes to North Korea. Now Tiffany Haddish goes to Israel. Who's next? Megan Thee Stallion goes to South Sudan. I don't think she will do
She would
that, but we don't
never.
want to see that. We don't want to see.
Megan Thee
We're
Stallion
tired.
is innocent and will always
Yeah.
be perfect.
But yes, Masood Rehman. I hope I'm saying that right. Rehman. The way she's sipping that OJ has me pissed. Oh, just in first class, business class, sipping it like she's going on vacation, like she's going to the Caribbean. It's a problem. Mike Thompson, thank you so much for the super sticker. Omega Shinron Dragon. No way a guy with a worse version of The Rock's 04 hairline is acting like black people are simplistic enough to vote Trump over gold dip sneakers.
The Rock's
yeah.
04
It is worse
hairline.
than The
That's
Rock's
so
hairline. It was.
Yeah, like what?
That's
Yeah,
good,
that
Omega.
is-
That is good.
That is a custom burn.
I don't know.
All right.
Comparing him
Yeah.
to The Rock is probably not the one you want to make. I don't.
It's the hairline, though. He's talking about the hairline.
Yeah,
The Rock's
I know what
hairline
he's
was
talking
not good.
All right.
He was holding on. J Cass. Ironically, I've seen some right wingers rock FUBU. FUBU is for us by us.
Seriously? Right
So
wingers
seeing-
I knew
and
that in
hope
high
they weren't
school
white.
as a white Canadian.
Smokey Rose at it again. Thank you so much. I can't believe they haven't tried to use All Star by Smash Mouth. I want to remember the song in my head as a campaign song to try to get the youth to vote.
Hey now, you're an all-star.
Oh, hey now,
Game
you're an
on.
All Star. Oh yeah, I know that one. Okay. Plus, I can tell. Thank you so
Oh,
much.
sorry.
David.
Did
It's fine.
I cut off too early?
Yeah, I can. Plus, I can tell that they used a bulk custom sneaker company called Alive Shoes to make them. They probably did. Probably did. Prairie Fire. Ask Matt for his punk review. Oh yes, here. This is for you, Matt. Ask Matt for his punk review of Estrogen Project Man from Lincoln, Nevada. Do they? Is that
Estrogen
Nevada? Because I don't know
Projection.
NE.
I think it's
don't-
North Carolina.
Oh, okay. Because
I'm just
there's
kidding.
no.
I'm just kidding.
I was like,
Do they
maybe that's a thing. I'm not going to say
threshold of
anything.
It's another state. You
I have
Canadians
not-
haven't heard of it.
I've not had a chance to listen to them yet. Not had
Okay.
a chance to listen to them yet. My
He
apologies.
hasn't had a chance, but when you do, we'll come back and we'll give Matt the floor so he can
Yes.
discuss it for you. So, Smokey Rose again. It's weird that they choose a stupid hypothetical analogy for Israel, like we don't have real world examples of events to compare to the trauma and horrors Palestinians have been experiencing. Exactly. Fetterman, go nap for a century. Jen Kathy, thank you so much. Stay strong, Miss, and much love to the whole TLM crew. Thank you.
Sounds good.
Omega Star, I love seeing you and Francesca getting mad together. That excites you? Adar, someone needs to disable the brakes on Hillary's broom. You know, y'all know I don't like Hillary, first of all. So we just disable it.
On Hillary's
send her away.
broom. That's a
I wouldn't
hilarious.
call
She's
her
a
an
witch.
Oh, just real.
Gee.
Oh, that's an.
Yeah, I wouldn't go there.
I don't like her. Nathan Dargori, just sub. Thank you so much. Love to see you in the Mafia. Happy to be here. Was so sad when Olay left, but so glad she's thriving. Exactly. She is doing
Love
her thing.
Olay.
Shout out to Olay. Tunbosin Oyenuga. I hope I said that correct. Oyenuga. First time love from Matt Usher a menace.
That
Usher's
is the
a
last
menace.
one.
I don't know. The first time. Thank you for being
Usher
a first timer
Menace.
here on my channel. Thank you.
His new album is very good. I can say
Usher's-
that about
But-
Usher.
yeah, and Usher. Oh, he's saying
Is,
Usher's
is
a
this the
menace
same
for-
person who super chatted about how he is a menace for, like, you know, dudes in relationships? Because yes, true.
Oh,
in that,
okay.
In that I totally agree. Yes, he's just far too gorgeous and talented. And
Who Usher is a menace for what? Because I'm trying
so
to.
if you're in a committed relationship, especially if you're like a straight guy, or
Oh,
bi
for what
guy, but
happened?
like either way, if you're in a relationship with a woman, she's probably going to be on some level a little into Usher. Just mathematically, there's a high percentage that she.
I
will
love
most likely
Usher. I'm in
be
a
to
relationship.
some
My
degree.
boyfriend was just telling me the other day, he's like, listen, if we go to a concert and you over there
what I
screaming
mean?
crazy and then he pulls you
Decent
up on
point.
stage, we're done. I'm leaving. And
Theory has
you
been proven.
Find yourself a home. Like, yeah, that's what he said. Anyways, but thank you guys. I love you guys so much. I mean it. I hope you guys have a good night. I'm looking at everybody's hair. It looks like Matt. I see. You know, you still.
I was thinking of that conversation we had when I got a fade. I just got
yeah,
one
I
recently.
see. I
Like a
see.
light one.
Everybody
Yeah,
went and
yeah,
got their
yeah.
hair done. Matt made sure to give y'all true punk. You know, did a little
Well,
trim at the top.
We got this
Yeah.
message.
That's look at that. Nice haircut.
Nice haircut.
I see everybody.
Hell yeah.
I see
Hell
y'all
yeah.
coming in with the haircut.
What? What are you talking about?
I see it. Don't
You
act
made me
so-
so conscious about it. I was like, it's been a while since I got a
Y'all
haircut.
look good. All right. Bye, y'all. I'll see y'all next time. Love you.
All right, I gotta. My YouTube is weird because like one page is saying I have certain chats that the other page says I don't. Like I hope I get them all because I'm not. I did. This is a weird. This is a weird thing. So let me find what I think is the first one.
Oh, you know
got
what's happening,
I got like
David?
5, so I'm gonna jump out.
Oh,
Yeah.
never mind. I was gonna say I'm only seeing mine, but I don't know if that's.
You're only seeing yours?
I'm only seeing mine on the sidebar. I think. Let me scroll. A little. No, actually, that's not true.
Is there a way to do that? That'd be so much easier.
Yeah.
We could all just do our own. What the
I
hell?
think
I don't even.
Okay, no. I just had a couple in a row that made me think I was, but okay.
Let me just read mine out. It's.
Yeah, feel free.
You're sick.
It's
Go
gonna be a
ahead.
lot easier.
Yeah, absolutely.
And yeah, I need to go. Tim Wright, $10 super chat. Thank you. Says you guys know the Ukrainian CEO that bought Trump's sneakers, Roman Sharf's business associate. Timepiece gentleman is going to jail for stealing $5 million. I'm a live streamer who covers them. I am not aware of some of the things you said there, but thank you, Tim. George, thank you for the super chat. As someone who lives in Andy Ogle's district, I'd like to apologize on behalf of everyone in my district. Bro is actually effing insane. Tony D, $20 super chat. Thank you, sir.
1 and 0 and 2.
First, F Biden, but second, how do we survive? We are watching genocide. If I knew the answer to that, then I would be a happy person right now.
We're trying our best to compartmentalize right now. It's tough.
Yeah. And then the last one, the bitey face puppy guy. Thank you for your $10 Canadian super chat. A Canada question for Mike or Dave. Okay, interesting. The YouTube comment sections of not for Lance for Canadian
They think I'm
Mike.
Canadian, really? I'd be happy
You
to
fooled
answer.
them. The YouTube comment sections of mainstream news items such as CTV or CBC or Global is 90% right wing. Why is that? Why is that, Mike?
Well, you know,
CTV, CBC, and Global News. You're familiar.
It's hard to say what that's about, but like sometimes, you know, you get a little bit older people, you know, and they don't really know. And sorry to the older people, I'm not trying to throw you all under the bus, but you know,
but he'll literally do that. It's what he does to old people.
But yeah, you know, I think that older people, they will seek out traditional media. And, you know, once they use the internet, it's not like they start to gravitate towards newer sources. They go with what's comfortable to them.
Yeah.
Kind of in the same way we all kind of gravitate towards our bubbles. They do the same thing. And their bubble, their comfort zone is traditional media. So I hate that that's how it is, but that's kind of just how we are on a human level. So, yeah. Hope that answers the question. Sorry if not.
I agree with Canadian Mike. That is the reason. These people, they go to what they're familiar with, and that's what they're commenting.
Well, I really
It's
hope
the
they
most
genuinely
Canadian
mistook me for a Canadian. That makes me
Oh, wait,
so honored and happy.
I think I have some more. The other page shows other chats. Okay, let me. Law Gnomes, $10 super chat. Thank you. Says since we got 7 years before primary, how would you design one? Ranked choice voting is an obvious pick, but what about? God, I did the Canadian. What What about having the most?
I'm rubbing up on you, David.
Yes, you are.
Canadian monk is, yeah.
What about having the most contested states for the previous election votes sooner? I don't know, I feel like these discussions to me are they're so tired. Like they're not, your question's a good question, but like just mentally exhausting because no improvements are going to be made. So like, why are we even bothering to brainstorm better solutions when the Democratic Party has no interest? They're going to put forward whatever state or whatever whatever state the most established Democrats will do best in. That seems to be their plan now. So I'm not sure what else the solution would be that they would actually adopt. Celeste, thank you for your super chat. Says went to protest against Kampala with a C. Do you mean Kamala Harris? She came to Michigan. Shake my head, the audacity.
Oh, Kamala Mealy. Sorry, maybe that's a nickname for
Kampala,
Kamala Harris.
but
Kamala.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Kamala.
She spelled it Kampala, but yes.
Yes.
I assume.
Kamala Harris and Cop combined.
And the bitey face puppy guy says, "Sorry guys, I meant Lance." There we go.
Oh, God damn it!
It's okay, Mike. You can be included too.
Thank you.
We'll allow you in.
Okay, I appreciate it.
Nice.
All right, I'm gonna dip. I hope I'm better next week.
Yeah, I hope you feel better. That really sucks.
These daycare sicknesses. Sometimes it's like a day. Other times it's like 3 months was one time, and that was the worst.
God,
worst days of my life. But it's okay.
Awful.
All right.
Adios,
good night, everybody.
muchacho.
Good night.
God bless. Feel better. All right. Oh, too close. Too close.
Stream, zoom in.
My goodness. Okay. Do you want to go to any of yours, Lance?
For some reason, I'm having the same problem as David. So my apologies to anyone I've forgotten, because one person asked and donated $2 to know what's your microphone? My microphone is an AT2020, and it's a USB mic that you need to plug into a Focusrite amp, because otherwise this by itself doesn't have electricity, so you need to amp it up with electricity so you can get sound out of it. And then Robbie H with $2 said Amelia Earhart is not the best female pilot ever. Historically, I would say that's probably an accurate statement, but there are certainly many incredible female pilots as well. And then thank you to Demon Lehman Nick for the sub, saying hail yourselves, hail Satan, free Palestine. Great message. I agree with all part of it. Mike Boy for Mayor, thank you as well. Corncob Maestro, thank you as well. And Lost SRUX with the message, say next Benedict's name. And yes, if you didn't know about them, it's a very unfortunate story. They're an indigenous non-binary student who unfortunately they were beaten up at school in the washroom, where Oklahoma of all places has and Mike did an awesome video on this way. Shout out to Mike and
thank you.
Up on this. But yeah, Oklahoma basically changed their rules where it came to gendered bathrooms in elementary schools and high schools, I believe. And this individual was picked on. They were bullied, and unfortunately, they did not survive the next day. So there's an investigation being done right now. And obviously there's an outpouring of support and love that's coming both from the LGBTQ plus community, plus the indigenous community online has been doing so much art. It's been really beautiful to see. If anyone has Next Benedict's family's contacts through that GoFundMe or anything, send them the links to a lot of the art. I'm trying to retweet it as much as I see it on Twitter and other spaces, but there's so much beautiful art where it just combines like LGBTQ plus motifs with indigenous art and all this stuff. It is actually, yeah, it is really beautiful to see. I'll send you some links, Mike.
Yeah, I want to see that.
And yeah, thank you very much. Appreciate it. All you guys, go nuts.
Alrighty, so we have a couple for me. So I'll just kind of go through them and then stop me, Matt, when I get to one of yours. Okay.
All right. Sure,
So Smokey Rose with $20. My goodness, thank you so much. That is so generous. So if we have to face God's wrath, why are humans making laws? Exactly. Yeah, that's a really good point.
And Matt Walsh is never getting into the kingdom of heaven. Let's be honest.
Never.
Neither is fucking higher right chick lives at TikTok. None of these motherfuckers
never.
are ever getting
They will
in.
be.
None of them.
There's there's no such thing. But if there is, in the off chance, they're gonna burn. Rest in power next. Thank you so much, C3339409 for the $2. Appreciate that. I mean, listen, God is very clear. And
the rules are clear. Yes.
Yeah. Leviticus 2:18 says if your name is Rychik or Walsh, you go to hell. Look it up. Bay photo with $5. Thank you so much. Alabama chose a former football coach, Tuberville, over Doug Jones for senator. Is it any surprise that they think children can be put in the freezer? Yeah, look, I don't have a lot of high expectations for the state of Alabama. I do feel really bad for the folks that live there who are trapped and they're not psychotic far right wingers. It's really frustrating. But
yeah, same with Florida, same with Alberta, same with so many places right now.
Yeah,
people have to leave or move because
exactly. I feel really privileged to be in a blue state. Because it's just your state really does make a huge difference, or your province in Canada, I'm sure too. Mm-hmm. So yeah, if you're in one of those states, Godspeed to you. Yeah, I mean, it's just the world's going to shit slowly but surely. So Godspeed to anyone who's in that predicament right now. Pinkerbell, $5. Thank you so much. And also, Pinkerbell, thank you for becoming a new member. Appreciate that. The AL ruling, I said that really weird. The Alabama ruling is an attempt to create a legal jumping off point to backdoor a fetal personhood law. This will have far-reaching consequences. Yeah. And on top of that, it's thrown the entire medical system in Alabama into chaos because, what is this? Nobody really knows what to take away from this. It's such a bizarre ruling. Are you going to get charged with murder if you are disposing of frozen? It's to even think about, it sounds like the plot from a parody of a world where the United States goes crazy and they overturn Roe and they start, doing shit like this. But it's real life. That's the thing. So, reality is stranger than fiction.
So is it the moment that the zygotes combine and the cells begin dividing at that exact moment where basically it divides into two? At that point, it has the same rights as a person, personhood at that, the two cells? Is it a two-cell law?
I honestly don't know. I think that a lot of them, so it depends on who you talk to. I think it's the moment of conception, and for some conservatives, and this is what my family believed when they were really religious, even before conception, because God had a plan for that. Now, I don't know how you legislate that, but certainly you go as far as you can to make sure that once that nut gets in there, it better be a fucking child.
Shouldn't you be legislating gooning? Shouldn't you just come at that alone? That's a genocide worth of souls every single time, in theory, right? That's a lot of potential life.
You bust a nut. Those are a lot. Those could have been babies, right? So you would think that that would be something that they legislate. Not to be super gross. I'm sorry, everyone. But they don't follow that logic. It's just if you can get pregnant, then they're gonna have a lot of shit to say and lots of regulations for you. Okay, so I'm missing. Or no, am I missing? Let me just go one by one to make sure I don't miss any. If we read it through David or Rebecca's, then let me know. I'm a little bit tired.
Also, there's an issue with my YouTube chat.
I think YouTube's not showing right now. Everyone's having issues with Super Chat right now.
Yeah, it's not showing me the chat. Yeah.
So this might be you, Matt. I can't remember if Rebecca read this. She might have read it when I was.
Yeah, she read that. It was for Rebecca.
Okay. So Alan Hill.
This might be for me, or who knows? I don't think we read
it's not
this
for
one,
me.
But I'll just read it.
Okay.
Alan Hill, AI is replacing people who do low-cost gig work. Companies have no qualms about the actual quality of the work they buy, and they use AI instead. Yeah, for like I said, for Mechanical Turk type stuff. Yeah, that's probably going to be the where people are hit, but also that's not the gig
Shout out to
economy
Alimi in chat, by
way.
the way. I think that's your chat, Mike. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Hi,
nice
old
haircut,
friend.
Lance. Hey, Ole. Okay.
Also, if either of you follow One Topic at a Time, really awesome YouTube channel, massive channel too. They're in the Twitch chat too, so that's awesome.
Oh, are they really?
We got celebrities all over the place.
My God. Yeah.
We're the band your favorite band watches,
Nice.
Yeah.
Love to see it.
Funny thing is, I'm feeling exhausted now. I think
it's not energizing Matt at all. It's sapping his strength like a vampire.
It's all no, not even I think I put everything into that AI rant, and then I completely. it's been I'm feeling exhausted. I don't know what happened to me. just a wave of tiredness. It happens to everybody.
Ole says she might see Binder in real life in a week.
What?
That's cool.
Where do you see me?
Both of y'all live in New York or around New York, don't you?
They're super
What
close
you
to
should.
each other.
You definitely should.
Wait, hold on, but what am I doing in a week?
Are you going to the same party?
Are you
I don't
going to the
think
party?
so.
No.
Am I?
Premiere?
I don't know.
Maybe he's finding out. This is how he found out live here in front of.
As far as I know,
Dan's party.
I don't know who Dan is.
What about Pete?
Yeah.
I don't know Pete either.
Greg?
Don't know Greg either.
Samantha?
No.
Okay, I'm getting so tired. I just
Dan from the internet sent you the details. Oh, nice.
Oh, he did?
Cool.
No, he didn't. I haven't been invited.
Oh, this was one of those awkward.
Oh,
I
no.
totally sent you an email. You got to check your spam folder. Yeah, check that for sure.
Oh no, did my shit freeze?
Oh no, you're back. That was a good face.
Oh, god damn it. I thought that my computer crashed again, but it
Emma
came
is
back.
going. Oh man, Matt, you got to go to this. This party sounds
Wow.
amazing. Olayemi, Emma, Dan from the internet.
Oh my god. We're gonna get some really cool pictures.
Now I want to fly to New York just to go.
I wasn't invited.
I wasn't invited. Cold.
No, I really wasn't.
Cold-blooded.
Oof. I know
Okay.
Dan, but I wasn't invited. Huh? It's fine.
Well, now you should just go. Obviously, you got to just show up. Just be like, Olayemi invited me online. Is the thing.
No. I need to. I need to be invited by the host. I don't.
Maybe
I don't
it's
tag
like
along.
Blue Sky, where you each get 2 codes to invite somebody else, and it's like a pyramid scheme
Those
of
are the
invites,
details
and
you're
that's
going.
how. So you don't know the original person
Yeah.
who's holding the party.
It's all good. It's all right.
Awkward.
Okay. Ole says she'll send you the details.
That's good. I'll know the details for a party I wasn't invited to.
Easier too.
Okay, so this might be for Rebecca. Let me know if you all read this. This is from Smokey Rose, or it's either for Rebecca or you, Matt.
I think this is for Rebecca.
Okay, my goodness,
Yeah,
Smokey
I
Rose, by the
remember
way,
her
thank
reading
you.
it.
You've been so generous to all of us tonight. Really appreciate that.
Yeah. Also, Smokey Rose. Mike hasn't recalled a single time we've read your super chat.
Listen.
He appreciates the money apparently, but doesn't pay any attention to the content of what you're posting.
I am tired. Okay, you can't hold anything against me after 7:30
we're all
PST.
Hey, I said I was tired, and I remembered every single one of those Smokey Rose super chats because I pay attention to what our lovely viewers have to say.
Oh yeah. Well, what did Jay
I don't-
Cass say at 7:32?
AI misinformation will
test.
now have David a few steps away from taking Mike's elderly beatdown tendencies.
No one can stop him.
Okay, next one here. I know that this one was Rebecca's. I do recall this one because I came back from the bathroom here. So, okay. Let's see. Still alive. I think this one is going to be you. Yeah, this
I'll
is you,
read it. I
Matt.
don't think it's from me.
I'd like to talk about this
still-
topic. It's
Still
important.
alive with the super chat. Anyone here see the morons on the far right crying because of Rogue's butt being nerfed in X-Men '97? They
I
claim
did.
it's Disney's gone woke yet again.
They
People are complaining about
decakeified
Rogue's
her?
butt.
That is the rumor. Now we have to be
Oh,
clear.
okay.
In that shot that is shown in the trailer, she's getting up. All right. So now the perfect accentuation of the ace, I gotta say, is not always going to be when that motion is happening in time. So before you go full, they've lost. Just hold on. And also, it's a children's cartoon. It's pretty fucking weird. They're
Right,
arguing again. But the other reason is because one of the characters, Morph, is identifying as non-binary in the new cartoon. I don't know why they're so mad about this. It's actually kind of funny though, because it kind of ruined their whole transphobic argument, because they keep saying that no, Morph is a man, it's a he. And it's like, so Morph can morph into other people, literally changing genitals and breast tissue along the way, all that kind of stuff, but remains a man nonetheless. You're affirming that that's not what makes a man, that it's not the penis. It is not. My word, look at you all. You're growing.
Checkmate,
It's growth, and I'm here for it.
conservatives.
Yeah, exactly. You know, they
Yeah.
painted themselves into a corner. I'm so here for it.
And here's what I will say.
I'm slowly scanning through the X-Men 97 trailer, looking for any and all shots of Rogue's butt. But I don't even
show the
see. I don't
people,
even.
come on.
I don't
This
even
is how we get the
show.
viewers.
I don't even show. I don't even see any shots of Rogue's butt. What are they? What are they even
Listen,
talking
if you're
about?
disappointed, you have to understand.
Oh, is it
that-
this shot? This shot where you can't even see anything going on here? Like,
Yes.
what?
Yes, in the distance. Off in the distance. They're like, my God, no cake. They nerfed her.
She's so far away, and it's just obviously supposed. This is ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
This is really a
Yeah.
thing.
Oh, it's a big thing. Yeah. And I like Mike, you might know this, correct me if I'm wrong. The picture that's circulating that shows, let's just say, a very prominent and very large ass of Rogue. I think that's a fan art. Like not that I'm saying that, like, you know,
I haven't
the
seen
cartoon wasn't drawn in a certain style or had a certain, you know, form, but I think the one that's going around that every single, like, the quarter and he's like, oh, my ass, you know, all that kind of shit. That is, I think it's fan art. I could be wrong. Might not be.
Well,
you know.
fellas, listen, it's a cartoon. So
It is.
let's not get too horny over the cartoon. But what I will say is, so I'm watching One Piece. I'm on episode like 225, and throughout time, the female characters, in particular Nami, has gotten increasingly large breasts as the television series has gone on, and the show has gotten like progressively more horny. And it's very conspicuous. You can't not notice it. So what I'm saying is, if you're disappointed about the status of Rogue's butt, they might just get horny throughout the series and blow it up a little bit. You never know.
Increase.
Yeah, they might increase. It's like a character creation screen throughout the season. Like, do we want to go a little bit? Yeah, exactly.
Also,
Okay.
What are these freaks doing looking at Rogue's butt anyway? She's taken by Gambit. You don't do that to someone else's significant other. Eyes up there, folks.
Yeah.
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
And what does the Bible say?
Have some
Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife. Something like
Thy
that.
Gambit's. Thy Gambit's.
Yeah.
Yeah, that Gambit's wife.
Okay, so I'm not sure where we're at. I think this is you. My next one is from Asa. So this has got to be you or David Dole.
I'll just read it. Zeit Weiss with I don't think this one is for me. I think I remember this one coming in. No, this one isn't for me. This is who gave the same amount of money in euros as well. But I'll read it. Wait, this one was for me, I think. Zeitweiss with a super chat. Bit off topic, but is it common knowledge in the USA how effed up the situation in animal shelters are? Overrun, euthanasia all the time, and nobody cares? Came across Southern U.S. animal foster accounts. Oh yeah, this is.
It's so sad.
There are no kill shelters here, but yes, there are, like, you know, one of the major uses of social media for these animal shelters is to let people know just how many days or hours even some of these pets have, and that some need to be adopted ASAP before they have to put them down. It's heartbreaking. It's sad. Yeah.
Gentlemen, I got to take off right before you get to the next super chat, but it was lovely seeing you both.
Yeah.
Absolute pleasure. I look forward to our weekly hangouts every Thursday.
Same.
And invite me to the party, Matt. Maybe I want to go too.
I wasn't even invited. I mean, what do you want me to do about it?
Bye, friend.
Take care.
I'll send you all the viewers. I'll read you right now.
Okay. We've got a couple here from Masood.
All right. This one's not for me, but I'll just read it anyway. Here, take some money. Can't discriminate. There you go. I didn't take that money, I don't think, but I appreciate it. Dangerous backdrop, my friend. Masood continues. I don't know who that. Definitely, I don't think he's talking about, my background.
Okay, and we've got one from Snack Panther.
As a black, I can't believe I'm choking now. You made me choke, Snack Panther. I can't believe I have to read that one. But as a black, I dig Jordans, not the white supremacy heirs. I mean, again, I want to be clear. I know you could easily mistake this for something I would say, but I was reading Snack Panther's super chat. This is not a Matt Binder quote.
Okay. I don't think this one is for me, but it's funny. I think mine are out of order or something, but
Jay Cass says, Mike wants those Aryan Force ones. Mike doesn't want those. You mean David Dole wants those? The rational nationalist himself.
Okay, let's see. We have one from Asa.
Asa asks, most decent president we had. Oof.
That's a really tough one. They're all demons.
I would say, hold on.
Maybe Jimmy
It's
Carter.
Gotta be. I gotta say it's William Henry Harrison, the 9th president of the United States. And the reason I say he's the most decent president we've ever had is because he died 31 days after inauguration. So I think it was very decent of him to just get inaugurated and then peace out before he could do any real damage that every president does.
That is a really solid argument.
I will go with William Henry Harrison, most decent guy. Peaced out as soon as he could. That was very decent of him.
Yeah. I'll second that after all. Asa Rosa, $2. Thank you so much. Trump has a game and a steak now. Sneakers. Yeah, I mean, he puts his name on so much stuff. It's ridiculous. The sneakers are absolutely hideous. If I see anybody walking with the sneakers, I'm going to bully them. No, I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to laugh at them to myself. It's just very embarrassing. Okay, let me scroll down a little bit. This is
Monk Without a Cause with a $50. This one's not for me, but I'll give you props for giving someone.
Same,
50.
yeah.
Or maybe it was for me. Someone did give me $50, but
yeah,
I can't
we're all
remember who
throwing
it
off
was.
tonight. You also, I'm so sorry. We're trying to.
Wait, you said there was super chat problems with yours too. You said.
I think that they're a little bit like jumbled because I'm getting them out of order. I think.
Oh,
so
not
I'm trying
even jumbled.
to.
When I'm looking at my YouTube backend to see the super chats, they're just not showing up.
Oh, okay, okay.
Like I think there's something going on with YouTube. I'm gonna reach out to them to see if they can fix it.
Yeah.
Like so I can see and make sure we read them all. But anyway, by the way, if anyone gave us a super chat and we don't read them tonight because of the issue, please reach out to us.
Yeah.
And I will make sure we read that super chat on the next episode. Because I don't want anyone paying for a super chat that they don't get answered or read. So please definitely reach out if we don't get to yours tonight.
Yeah, because we can go back and see if it's working properly. So yeah, definitely let us know.
But we can't go back and see right now. Like I'm actually looking
Right.
at my super chat list, and the super chats for tonight are actually not showing up. That's never happened before. It's clearly a YouTube problem. I'm sure
Yeah.
they have them because you paid for them, so they have something.
Yeah,
you know,
they'll
the
iron it
payment
out for
attached to something.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. But thank you, Monk Without a Cause, for the whole gang. I'll be asleep before you could read this, but no worries. I'm a big Francesca fan and still love Jenk and especially John. Not one among you doesn't rock. Well, thank you so much. That's so kind. I think this
one was for me. So
yeah, I
thank
think
you,
it is.
Monk Without a Cause. Yes, I appreciate it.
And then just real quick, Mithril, thank you so much for the 5 gifted subs. That is so kind. I really appreciate you doing that. And then this one I'm assuming is for you.
Archangel with the super chat. Matt, loved your article in Mashable regarding Twitter's massive fake coverage of the Super Bowl. How have they let it get this bad? These numbers seem crazy. I mean, he doesn't have anyone working on the trust and safety team, or very few people, I should say, to be more accurate. He has created a number of incentives for people to fake activity and engagement and follower count and viewership. There's the monetization aspect of it all. I went over it all on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/MattBinder earlier this week. Of course, you could read the article as well. But I appreciate the kind words, and yeah, check the follow-ups out if you need me to like walk you through it in video/audio format.
There you go. So I'm pretty sure a lot of these next ones are going to be used. So we'll just assume that that's the case until I see one of mine, and then I'll switch and I'll read it. So
Sure.
next one here.
Lizzie Bennett with a $20 super chat. Franny, Theo on Leftist Mafia. To wrap up Black History Month, you guys need a black guest. Can we get Benjamin Dixon on the show or Bubba from Like It or Not? Anyway, those sneakers should be fire.
I would love that. We should. It would be cool to get the whole Like It or Not crew on, and we could do like a mashup. I think that'd be fun.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Yeah,
we should have anyone and everyone on whenever. Honestly.
Yeah,
I want
absolutely.
everyone on. I want everyone coming on Leftist Mafia.
Mhm.
You know, obviously, if we don't get Benjamin Dixon on before the end of February, he's got to wait till next year to come on for Black History Month. I mean, obviously, Ben's always welcome on the show.
Yeah,
and
he's
anyone,
a regular forever. Welcome whenever he wants. That's basically for a lot of our guests. They're always free to come on. We are really bad at inviting guests on. Even though we want guests, we don't do it. So Lance has been doing really great lately. We kind of take turns. So, okay, next one.
Your mom with a super chat. Thank you for creating Leftist Mafia, because this is legit my once a week night to chill, have a sense of sanity. Yeah, I really appreciate that. I do think
nice.
I do think we have a good thing going here. I think we've fostered a interesting show audience, and I think the flow of the show is quite good. I think we need to take it to that next step and do live shows.
Yeah, I mean, across all of our platforms, our views are really huge. Like, it doesn't feel like they get a lot because we each stream, but if you put them all together, like, it's a massive show, which is really cool.
I do wonder if we should go to one channel, but at the same time, I also think it works out this way too. Like, I don't know what we should do. I don't
know either.
There's benefits to both, obviously.
Yeah.
I think this is probably the best way to do it, as we all have our own thing, and then we do this as like an Avengers type, like, come together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not like, there are podcasts out there where the hosts, that is their one thing, and so they do it on one channel, but we all have our own thing going on.
Yeah, I think that the future move would probably be to just expand in terms of accessibility, like give people an audio option. I think that would be really cool. We haven't done that yet.
I have the ability. I just if you
there's
guys,
so many shows now.
I know, but we could do a little bit at a time. We could do like 5 a week. One a day. Just if anyone wants to send me the audio of each show, I can upload it to a podcast feed, and like its own feed, not like biting off one of my own feeds like Scam Economy or Doomed. A separate Leftist Mafia podcast feed. I think that'd be smart to do. Actually, we could probably.
I think it would too.
We could probably get pretty high up in the podcast charts too, because we have 5 audiences coming together to download one podcast.
Yeah. Okay, next one.
David McClelland with a super chat. Canada and Buffalo, huh? Someone's been watching Canadian Bacon. A great movie, but didn't age too well. Much love, y'all. I don't remember what happened to Canadian Bacon. I did see that movie, though. It's been a long time.
I don't know that I've seen it. All right, next one here.
G and Kathy with a $10 super chat. I'm guessing this is not for me, but I'm gonna read it anyway. Stay strong, Ms. And much love to the whole TLM.
Oh, this
crew.
was. I do recognize them. Yeah, this one was for Rebecca.
I would assume, because
I was gonna joke and say, why would you not think that this is for you?
Because I'm Ms. I'm not a Ms.
Okay. So I feel like this. Did David answer this? I don't remember. David Lance. I don't remember, so we'll just read it. Matt Lipton, $5 says, Dave and Lance, did you hear about the anti-woke Canadian family that got scammed by the Russian government? I heard something about this myself that I don't know if this is the same. I'm pretty sure it's the same family, but like they went to Canada to get away from the LGBTQ plus menace.
They went to Russia.
I'm sorry,
funny
Russia.
slip there. That's a funny slip there.
Canadian
they
family.
went to Canada to get away from all the
Yeah, Canadian family went to Russia to get away from LGBTQ plus people. And yeah, I know it's not working out so well. I don't have the details off the top of my head, but it's one of those great stories of Schadenfreude, which is great.
I think the news that came out about that, or at least when it got mainstream coverage, I think it was late. I think the family had got their funds back from the bank that was holding them.
Okay.
It is still insane. It is still insane to move your entire family somewhere. I think they have like 3, 4, maybe even more kids, like young kids, to move them somewhere so different. They don't even speak Russian. They're not Russian. Like they don't even speak the language.
Yeah.
And Russia's not exactly a country where like it's known for like its multilingual or English speakers. Like it's not. It's not. I'm not saying that there's Russian people there who speak English, but
But to move there because they're not woke, like, come on.
They moved there to
So
get away
insane.
from like Western culture. I think
So
that's
stu-
insane. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
that's insane. That's insane.
Unhinged, stupid.
To do that to
Do
your
better.
kids, like just pull them from their like. Do they have other family members, cousins, grandparents, aunts, uncles that they're never going to see now because of like? I would never do that.
It's so selfish, so stupid. Like they're in such a bubble, politically speaking, that they think this is a good idea. It's just whatever. Like I feel bad for their kids, but for the parents, it's funny. It's amusing to watch them now regret their decision, I'm assuming. Okay. Joe Greer with $5. Thank you so much, Joe. Mike, thanks for always speaking up for the trans community. Of course. Yeah, I will never stop speaking up for the trans community. Solidarity forever.
It's a lie. It's a lie. I heard that he doesn't speak up for you guys a few hours of the day when he's sleeping. Fucking liar over there. He'll never stay. He stops. A few times a day he stops.
I mean,
10
between
long-
speaking up and condemning Hamas, I'm a busy guy, okay?
10 lawn gnomes with a $10 super chat. I don't know who this is for, but again, it doesn't matter who these super chats are for today. So we're
Yeah,
just
we'll
reading
just read them all.
Yeah. Since we've got 7 years before a primary, how would you 7 years before?
Oh, this was
how
a
would you
David
design
Gold one, yeah.
Okay, all right, let's skip it. Fuck 'em.
Okay, we'll skip it. If we remember it, then we will move on. I'm super tired.
I didn't remember this one. I fucked up here.
I didn't either though. Victor Hart, $10.
Oh, this one is for me. I remember this one.
Ah, okay,
Victor
okay.
Hart, $10 super chat. AI music video of Hassan Piker, hunting, fishing, and loving it every day. Hank Pecker. I tried to hyperlink it here, but YouTube didn't like it.
I've got to see it.
I got to see it. All right. I will say, there's been some good AI stuff when it comes to like internet memes, because again, the barrier for entry, the production value can be low and often wrong when it comes to internet memes. Again, I'm not saying there's no use case for AI. It's not crypto, but there is a lot of similarities with the hype around it and the people who are hyping it up to scare you about this whole, sort of generational change this industry is going to bring forth, all to be able to feed off that hype cycle when they raise money from VCs to enrich themselves. That's what I'm talking about.
You know what? Adam Conover did a great video about this too that kind of echoes some of your points, Matt, that I think people would really find interesting and informative.
Yeah. I'll have to check it out, but yeah, I know what I'm talking about. People have to understand. I know what I'm talking about.
You're the tech journalist. So if I say something that's opposite of what you're saying, I put more stock into your words because you follow this shit literally for a living. So I doubt myself when I'm on the opposite side. And also, I'm just overly cynical. That's my default position. So on any issue. So that's how I landed here. But okay, I'm assuming this one's for David or Lance. But I don't know if we read it yet, but Masood Rahman, $10, says Canada has something called the CDN Muslim vote, and they took a delegation of MPs to the West Bank, but all conservatives turned it down. Just a few liberals and mostly NDP went. That's actually really cool that they did go. Good. They should be going. They should be educating themselves and familiarizing themselves with what's going on there. Victor adds that he's an hour behind, and that was meant for the AI topic.
Yeah, I got it. I mean, listen, you could drop any super chat for anything,
for sure,
honestly. But just if it's something specific, contextualize it in the comments. Sometimes we receive super chats that the person sent while we were on a topic, but the context isn't there, so the chat is confusing. You could talk about anything at any time. Just add the whole context of what you're talking about in your super chat so we know what you're referring to. Which you did, Victor Hart. I'm just talking in general for other people.
Okay. Super sticker? I don't know if
This
we
was
looked
for
at
me.
this,
I remember the
but thank you.
CWO2. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. It was their first time sending me a super chat too, I believe. Thank you.
Oh,
I
very
appreciate
cool. Another one here.
Jay Cass for the super chat. I just tried to block a cough and failed, but farted loud at the same time. Has that ever happened to any of you? I mean, block a cough and failed, but farted out loud at the same time. So, yeah, I guess I can't say that specific thing has happened to me.
Yeah, yeah. I would say that I've like coughed and farted at the same time, maybe, but not necessarily blocked. I mean, it's an interesting chain of events, but yeah. I like that super chat. JCast always has the funniest ones.
I have tried to block a fart and fail.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
And then cough at the same time. No,
Yeah, if you're trying to hold in a fart and you cough, it's going to be very difficult. You've got to have like a level 99 booty hole to do something like that. Like it's a skilled maneuver.
Booty hole.
You got to grind a lot to get there, you know? You got to keep leveling up, okay? And eventually you can do that.
Oh, in the chat they're talking about sneeze farts. Yes, that's way more common.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
That's way more common.
Yeah.
The sneeze fart.
Okay. Asa Rosa with $2. Thank you, Asa. I wish Anthony Bourdain was alive to see this rip. Yeah, I do too. Anthony Bourdain was incredible.
The way you read that comment.
Wait.
After we were talking about farts. I wish Anthony Bourdain was alive to see this.
Oh, oh, I'm crying.
I don't know why it's so funny, but it really is.
No, it is.
Whew.
Okay. Yes, I love Anthony Bourdain. Longtime fan. His comment about Henry Kissinger is the best. Oh my god.
Oh my god. All right. We can move on.
Okay, I'm trying to figure out where we were. Okay, I think
that's it.
No. I think I got caught up. Okay. Zero PE 499. Thank you, Zero. As a resident of Tennessee, can tell you that Chet Ogles is consistent because he wants/tries to kill kids here too with harmful policies. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me, Zero. Honestly, like you can just tell he is genuinely sociopathic, and I think that now that he said this, he's going to be on a lot of people's radars when he was just kind of flying under the radar, because there are other MAGA chuds like Green and Boebert and Gates who are much more loud, but like he just kind of shot up, just straight up going full Hitler. JCast with $5. I asked my dog how his day was, and he said rough. Oh, that's very cute. I like that. Wholesome.
Hope your dog is doing okay.
Yes, we love doggies here.
Day.
I think this one is for
Looney
you.
Tunes 9000. This one's for me. I remember it. For my 2-month resub on your Twitch last night. Oh, did you? I didn't. Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
Very cool.
Oh yeah, don't forget over on twitch.tv /Matt Binder. If you got an Amazon Prime subscription, that gives you a free Twitch Prime subscription. Don't forget to use it this month. It's it's the end of the month almost.
Good idea.
Don't lose out on it. You get to give your favorite creator. You can give it to whoever you want, but I'm letting you know what my channel is. Don't let it go to waste. Don't let Jeff Bezos and Amazon keep your extra money. Give that Twitch Prime subscription to one of your favorite creators.
Also, I'm not sure how you activate this, but if you have a premium subscription to YouTube, I believe they're now allowing you to have one free sub to a creator of your choice per month, or maybe for a couple of months.
Really?
Look into that. Yeah, I heard about this last week. I don't know all the details, but you might be able to just watch some of your creators like member behind the scenes content or become a member for free if you have premium. So check that out. I'll look into it myself and give you some more details next week because I have premium. So I'm going to definitely utilize that when I figure out how to. Chris Corcoran with $5. Thank you, Chris. I think it's appropriate to call Fetterman an ogre, but he's not a good one like Shrek. He's more like the ogres from God of War. Yeah, you're here. He's a terrible human being, and I think it's perfectly fine if we use him as a punching bag because he's pro-genocide. Doesn't get more despicable than that.
Ton Bosun with the super chat. You got these Biden hardliners screaming this uncommitted vote is a nothing burger. At the same time, they desperate for the vote. Make it make sense. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Asa Rosa with $2. Thank you, Asa. Petition for New England / Oregon, Washington to be part of Canada. That would be awesome. Yes. That'd be incredible. All right, and for you.
So Ren with the super chat. Best current governor, Walz would be my vote. That's he's Wisconsin, right? Is that?
I don't know.
Or am I thinking of someone else?
Walz. Who's Walz? I'm trying to.
Minnesota. My bad. Minnesota. Tim Walz. Right. Yeah, he's good. I don't know. Governors are rough. Certainly not Kathy Hochul. And certainly not my governor, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, it's hard to say like any one governor, but some of them do good things, some of them do bad things. I know that's a very like generic statement, but like the guy who just canceled medical debt, I can't remember the state or his name. I did a video on it too, but he canceled all medical debt, and I think that that's really cool. I don't know anything else about his politics, but you know that's using your power in a very important way. Ignar,
that was Connecticut. That was in Connecticut. Governor.
Oh, okay.
Ned Lamont.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I could not remember. I'm tired, obviously. Ignar Husky with $10. Thank you, Ignar. What's y'all idea of YouTube throttling certain channels arbitrarily? I got premium and no ad blocks, so it's not that. But my streams have been hella throttled lately. You think your problems are related? Throttling in the sense that like it's really bad quality and you're like restricted to like 720p, or throttle in the sense that it's being algorithmically throttled. I think you're talking about the quality itself. I think that it might just be every once in a while YouTube has issues. It's rare. For the most part, they're a pretty functional website, but every once in a while things just don't work properly. It happens more often than not on the back end, like in the creator dashboard, like things don't load or things aren't working, or we don't have access to our analytics. It's probably just maybe they're fixing glitches or something, or working on it, or they updated something. I don't know. I'm not like the tech savvy guy, but I'm sure that they will fix it. And anything that we can't see now in terms of like super chats, I'm sure we'll be able to see it next week. So again, just to reiterate, make sure that you let us know if we missed your super chat, because we can go back through and read them next week, just in case. So that way you're not super chatting out into the void. Okay, so ABS, Anonymous Bastard of Society with $5. Thank you so much. Has there been any success in setting up an episode with Kyle Kalinske? Great show as always, guys. Thank you so much. You know, I reached out to Kyle and he would love to come on. The problem is that he has commitments every single Thursday evening. So if we had Kyle on, we'd have to do it on a different day unless his schedule changes. So that's the only thing. It's a conflict. Weekends are kind of hectic for Kyle, or like the end of the week is hectic because he does Crystal Kyle and Friends. He does his own show. But the second that he has a free Thursday, we're going to snag Kyle and hopefully Crystal too and bring him on, because that would be really, really fun. This one's you.
Tim Wright with a super chat. CEO that bought Trump's shoes for $9K was a friend of Timepiece Gentleman who was in New York Times recently for stealing $5 million in a Ponzi scheme. Interesting.
Otaku Dragon with $5. Mike, Alabama is pushing a bill that states there's only 2 sexes and is flat out banning trans and hermaphrodites from existing. Yeah, it's really disturbing, but not surprising at all. If you look at the ACLU anti-LGBTQ plus bill tracker, or if you follow Erin Reed at her Substack, Erin in the Morning, you can see there's so many states, and Alabama, I believe, and Oklahoma is the other one, that this year, at least, they're so far, I don't know if they're leading the charge, but they've put out a lot of really horrible bills that criminalize the existence of trans people. And it's really frustrating. I think that this is ultimately going to have to be addressed nationally, whether or not Congress acts or the courts act, it needs to be addressed nationally. I fear right now that if like one of these cases went to the Supreme Court, it would not go well for LGBTQ plus people. So I think that the best course of action would be Democrats actually grow a spine. And the second they have all 3 branches of government, they need to pass the Equality Act and specifically pass legislation addressing these bans on gender affirming care and these bans on the policing of trans existence. Because if they don't do that, this is going to continue. And little by little, trans people are losing their right to just be themselves in each state. And that is a very horrifying trend. So we're moving in one direction where Democrats aren't going to be able to just allow this to keep happening. Thankfully, they're all speaking out on behalf of Next Benedict. So it's nice to see that. But we need more than like lip service and kind words, and we need them to actually take action. The fact that they didn't pass the Equality Act is very concerning. But yeah, we need national legislation because this is going to keep happening.
Archangel says, I'd love to have Kyle Kulinski on the show. Yeah, someone else just asked this, and Mike just addressed it.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll make it work eventually.
Yeah, we will, for sure. For sure. Even if we do like maybe a pre-recorded episode on a certain day, if we're going to miss a week, we could bring on Kyle. I think that's a good opportunity. Like, I don't know, like fucking maybe Thanksgiving for next year. Try to like pre-record something and then release it on, I don't know. I don't want to make plans for us this far in advance because I'll forget it, but we will figure something out. Kyle will be on eventually, for sure.
Right. Ton Boson says, what are your thoughts on Reddit, the Reddit deal with Google, especially after Reddit fucked over third-party developers who made the site what it is today? Yeah, I actually did not get a chance to look too much into this yet. I was working on other things, had other things in the works. I'll get back to you on this. I think it's clear that there's been some sort of partnership here for a while now. Apparently, they're expanding on that more. So I'll have to let you know about that one though.
All right, I think this one is you.
Fallen Gemini with the super chat. First time super chat. Thank you, Fallen. Matt, Rogue's buns isn't fan art. It was in only one scene in the original, which has been memed to death. Lance lost this SC for leaving. What does SC stand for?
Super chat.
Super chat. Ah, all right.
There are benefits to saying all night doing super chats. Okay, this one is for me, JCass, with $2. Thank you, JCass. Thoughts on the Borderlands movie? Yikes. I have not seen the trailer yet. I saw the poster, and it looks, just based on the poster, it looks very bad. I am a fan of the Borderlands games. I've played all of them. But we'll look. I'm cautiously optimistic. Well, I shouldn't say I'm cautiously optimistic. I guess I am keeping an open mind. We'll put it that way, because some of these video game movies lately haven't been as bad as previous video game movies. Like, I grew up in an era where the original Super Mario Brothers movie was a thing. And so, you know, those types of movies really tainted my view of video game movies. But we're improving. So, look, I'll keep an open mind. It's probably going to be dog shit, though. Let's keep it real. This one is from Calm Like a Bomb. Mark Lamont Hill would be another great guest for you to have on. That is a great idea. Yeah, I would love to have on Mark Lamont Hill. I don't know. One of us has to have a contact to him. But yeah, that's a great idea. Lance has a contact with everyone. It's got to be Lance. We'll ask him. Okay, got one for you.
Now let's see. We got T-Types with a $10 super chat. Would an audio rip of one of your YouTube lives be good enough for the Leftist Mafia podcast feed? As an audio engineer, I could run it through some light mastering for you. Yeah, that would work, actually. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. That's a good idea. Thank you, T-Types. Oh, and look at this. The needle drop. Fantano himself. My goodness. With $9.99. Just want to say I love you guys. Fantano. We love you too, obviously. My God. Thank you so much.
We got to have you on, my friend. We got to have you on, my friend.
Yeah, that would be a fun show.
We have a Kanye album to review. I cannot believe, I don't know if he's still watching, but I cannot believe the shit you're going through with this dude. This
wild
is
to me.
insane.
Yeah.
But, you know, I will say I did, someone shared a clip from like your, I guess the membership show you do for your members, where you actually did listen to the album, or at least a few songs on it, and your reaction, because I had the same reaction when I heard this song. Your reaction to the line where it's like, she ride that dick like Carnival, made me crack up, because I thought that was so fucking bad too. It's such a bad line.
Oh my God. I kind of want to listen to it just because of how bad it might be. I haven't even listened to a single song yet, but I might.
That's
now
the one song I've listened to, because interestingly enough, I do like the gang vocals that go like that part, because I'm just a fan of gang vocals in general. I come from listening to a lot of hardcore and hardcore punk, and a lot of gang vocals and that stuff. But other than that one part, other than that was one gang vocals, the song is bad, and that line is so bad.
What's the name of that
say
song?
It
I gotta
over
listen.
and over. It's called Carnival.
Carnival,
It's
okay.
so bad.
Okay. I'm gonna have to listen to it. Thank you so much, though, Fantano. So cool to see you drop by. We have Cosmere Dragon, who dropped in with a $5 super chat. Thank you. Mike, please give this to Lance, to give to David, to give to Fran. Love seeing her make an appearance on Leftist Mafia. Hey, I love that you're keeping the meme alive, too. I am going to keep that $5, but thank you so much for the consideration.
I appreciate being left out of this money laundering.
Yeah, right.
I don't want to. I don't want to be part of it.
Okay. So I think this one is also for me. Yeah. So Joel Conroy, thank you so much. $4.99. We needed a whole episode with Kyle Kalinske doing Ted Cruz impressions. That would be incredible. Yeah, Kyle has the best Ted Cruz impression. It's not like the most accurate, but it captures the essence of Ted Cruz the best. Like it's second to none. So yeah, I think that's everything. Is there anything on Twitch that you needed to go over before we get out of here?
No, just Valinova cheered 500 bits. Someone earlier wanted to know if you guys donated to Will Stansel's campaign yet. I honestly don't have the funds to donate to any political campaigns at this time, at least. I know Will Stansel is a controversial figure. And a lot of times I have disagreed with him for certain takes he's had. Other times I've also agreed with him on certain takes he's had. But I think, in terms of his politics and what he's running for, I don't know who he's running against, but I have to assume, unless there's some sort of like hardcore leftist running against him, he's likely the person with closest politics to anyone who listens to this show. And so, yes, I support Will Stansel's campaign for sure.
If this is the same person I'm thinking of.
He's the guy who sort of annoys everybody by his obsession over TikTok. Do you know who?
I don't want to comment because I could not. I might not be thinking of the same person. That's actually
he's
him.
annoyed a lot of people with some of his takes. Let's put it
okay, because if I am thinking of the right person, I don't like them. But I don't know for sure. I don't want to say this about it if it's not the same person I'm thinking of and make an enemy inadvertently. But if it's the person,
I want to know now. You got to find out. I want to know if we're
I'm not
throwing down as to end the show. We're throwing down.
No, I can't start beefs in the last 5 minutes of the show when my brain is basically pudding. But I do have so Valanova also sent 500 bits to me. Really appreciate that, Valanova. Thank you so much. I think that's all on Twitch. Who do we want to raid?
I don't know who's on right now. Did you see that Twitch changed their raid thing?
No.
Like, look, click the raid thing. Like, click the raid button. Where is it? And it looks all different now. They give you a lot more visual options to see more people and see what they're currently doing. Like, there's like a thumbnail image of what they're currently streaming, so you can have a better idea of what's going on.
Okay, I'm gonna sound like a boomer here, but what is the raid button? Because I only type in the command raid. I've never.
Oh, really? So go to your Twitch dashboard, the stream manager.
Okay.
Let me know when you're there.
Okay.
Under the video that you see of the stream, there are a bunch of like square buttons. There's one that looks like a parachute.
Oh,
click that one. That's
okay.
Raid channel. And when you click that, you see a bunch of options of who you could raid because they're on right now.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, it's a mix of like who you follow, but then also some recommended channels that you don't follow.
That's super cool, actually. Yeah.
For me, for example, I see Jason Society's on, Riverboat Jack is on. According to the still for Riverboat Jack show too, she's currently watching the Needle Drop. So
oh, there you go.
On stream. So maybe we should do that one, right?
Let's do it. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, folks. Great show. Again, if we didn't read your super chat, please reach out to us so we can read it next episode. Once again, youtube.com/MattBinder if you're not already following me there. And Mike, do you have anything you want to plug?
No, just have a wonderful week, everyone. Take
care. Your own YouTube channel. I see. Big time in it. You got so many subscribers, you don't need it anymore.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
It's no big deal. Subscribe if you want or don't. It's fine.
Here we go. I'm going to click the red button to start it.
Okay, let me know as soon as you are ready.
All right, it's filling up. Hold on. All right, are you ready?
Let's do it.
Boom. Let's click.
All right, everyone. We will see you next week.